now as well. YouTube guys, let me know if you can hear me. Lord Chelum, what's up, my friend? We got some stuff pending, Lord Chelum. I'll reach out to you early next week. Let's see. Got 3D Maniac as well. What's up? Hello, hello. Solid Mango. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the Christmas special. Merry Christmas to everyone, guys. Hopefully you had a great time if you celebrated with your family. My Christmas was good, man. Chill, but good. Tofinator. We got Pedro Santos on YouTube as well as Wizard Groon. What's up, guys? Dorkwing says, was just watching a clip of yours on Twitter. Were you watching the one with the cookie, the Oreo? That's a crazy one. Further Nutria, welcome to the live stream, welcome to the channel. We got a Meta 3D Studio. Hello, my friend. Ana Mentol. Yo, what's up? Oh, the Zbrush Polypaint one. Yeah. Yeah, we took a small break from shorts this past couple of days, but we're back. We're back. Diego Santos, what's up, my friend? Thank you for the follow. Martin David says, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, my friend. Merry Christmas. I'm gonna lower the music a little bit. There we go. That's a little bit better. What did you guys have for Christmas dinner? Over here we had tamales. Very tasty tamales. What's in the giveaway? Oh, you'll see. You'll see. Bit of coffee before we start. Calamancito, what's up, my friend? Ooh, Texan brisket. That sounds tasty, man. Oof. Yeah, the day before Christmas, we had a carne asada as well with my in-laws. Very, very tasty too. Virginie night. Virginie night? What is Virginie? Virginie night. Well, hello to the boys, my friend. Neve, what's up, my friend? Hello, hello. We also got Nick. Merry Christmas to you all, my friends. Who has tamales? We have tamales. My family and I, we had tamales during Christmas. Still, I think we still have a couple of leftovers on the fridge. Let's see. What am I missing here? We're in a good spot. Alice in Renderland. Hello, my friend. How are you? Welcome. Oh, first time chat? I've seen you before. You were on YouTube, right? Most of the time. Biryani is a rice-based spicy dish in Southeast Asia. It's awesome. Oh, I'm gonna have to try that sometime. Someone is mentioning that they had a classic raclette. That's another like dish that I don't know about. Let's take a look. Let's quickly look for that raclette. It's a Swedish and French traditional dish consisting in cheese. Okay. Oh, that sounds nice, man. Nate391 says, I love your tutorial, man. Thank you for your video. You're welcome, my friend. Not sure which specific tutorial you're talking about, or if you're talking about all of them. Hopefully it's all of them, or most of them. But thank you, my friend. Thank you. Driftu, what's up, my friend? Welcome. Welcome to the chat. Oh, I have the same stuff, Lord Chillum. There was this lady that had her like morning taco stand. No, not taco. Here we have something called gorditas. I'll show you a picture as soon as we start. It's a round flour, like what's the best way to describe them? Do you guys know what gorditas are? In Latin America, I think, I'm not sure if it was Argentina, Colombia, or something. They call them pupusas as well. They're just like round, like corn, not corn, flour. Well, they can be corn as well, but this were in particular a flour tortilla thing, where you fill them with a specific like dish, and she had her stand like very close to my house. So every now and then, when I left my kid at kindergarten, we would buy a couple of them for breakfast. But she hasn't been there in a while. I'm worried as well. Hopefully she's fine. She was an older lady. Let's see. Adamental says, Merry Christmas, man. Wish you all the best to you and your family. Thank you, my friend. Same to you. I hope you guys had a great Christmas, and we're gonna have an amazing end of the year. 2025 is gone, guys. It's gone. Good question here. How do you improve anatomy and sculpting when you have no one to ask to spot your sculpt mistakes? That's a tough question. So here's the thing, Calamancito. You do have someone to ask about your sculpt and mistakes. And that's one of the things that you need to sort of like get over. And it's just post. Post in our Discord if you like our Discord. Post in, I don't know, like Reddit. Post in Instagram. Like, people are very, very quick in giving out judgment and telling you where things are wrong. It sucks, right? Like, it's a very tough situation to be in, because you put your stuff out there and people will be very mean to it, and you can take that from someone who has been posting regularly for the past like several years. So I know how toxic the internet community can be. However, every now and then you will find some really nice advice. There might be people out there who might actually like reach out to you and be like, hey, I want to help you out. Do you want to jump onto a Discord call? I'll show you this, I'll show you that. And that's how you learn. Like, it's very difficult. It is possible, but it is very difficult to learn exclusively by yourself. You do need help sometimes. Well, not sometimes, like quite often you do need someone to tell you, hey, this is where I would fix it. And the reason why it's difficult to learn by yourself, it's not really because it can't be done. It's more because you can save so much time if you have someone else to tell you, hey, this is the issue and this is how you fix it, right? Because otherwise it's a lot of like introspection, it's a lot of analysis, it's a lot of being very, very harsh with yourself, and just like trying to do it. Most of the time they just ignore me whenever I ask, do you mean our Discord channel? Try posting on the Whips channel. Whips channel, most people are answering every now and then. But yeah, even again, like Instagram, Reddit. Like, I know there's a couple of Reddits there for like Zbrush and modeling. It is possible to do it. Now, one thing I'm gonna tell you is you do get better the more stuff you do it. So we've talked about this before. When you're learning something, I personally think it's better to do a lot of stuff, even if it's not perfect. And then if you start learning about that, like the more you do it, the more you're gonna improve, and eventually you start focusing on doing a little bit less and less with more quality, right? So I do think that it's better for your artistic growth to do a bunch of things first, even if they're not perfect. And then as you keep getting better and better, now you start focusing on quality. There was this very famous what's the word? I don't remember how to say that word. Experiment? I'm not sure if it was an experiment or like analogy or this lesson. It's something. I'll mention in just a second. Let me just finish my coffee real quick. First job as remote is bad for future jobs? No, I don't think so. My first job was remote and I'm doing just fine. I'm actually like 90% of my jobs have been remote throughout my career. And I've been doing this for 15 years now. Our industry is one of those industries that really benefits from remote work, to be honest. Because even though it is handy to have someone there by your side, again, helping you and stuff, most of the times, if you know what you're doing, feedback and just like quick draw overs can like point you in the right direction, so you don't need that much micromanaging. So no, if you get a chance, like right now, the best thing you can do is get a job, man. As you guys know, the industry is not in a crisis. I'm gonna stop saying that. The industry is not in a crisis, but we're definitely in an interesting spot in regards to like what the future of our industry is going to hold. So getting any kind of job right now, it's completely great. Yeah, no. It's there's like one gaming studio near where I live. It's a very small studio, and they're not doing like games anymore. They're doing more like apps instead of games, and so I totally get what you mean. So yeah, no, that's the great thing. Like even like I know big studios out there. It's not very common. I'm gonna preface this by saying it's not very common, but it is possible to be hired by like a very big studio and be working remotely. Like it is common. I'm talking about like I don't know, like Blizzard. I'm talking about I don't know, like maybe Larian. I don't know. Like there's a bunch of studios out there that might hire you. You need to be really good though. Like I'm talking like almost like senior positions. But you can be hired and be working remotely. Natrix C3D says, "Hey Leo 3D, Merry Christmas. I know Substance Painter can follow tutorials, but I get stuck when texturing on my own. How can I improve and start doing it independently?" Reference is the best thing you can do, breaking things down into its simple components and then going from there. Hello, and welcome, my friends. Welcome to the Christmas special. It's Santa 8 here, tuning in to kick this off, to start this last stream of the year. This is gonna be our last live stream. We did like more than 40 live streams throughout this year. Almost every single week we had one. There were just a couple of weeks where we couldn't, but I'm very happy to be here. I'm very happy and very excited, of course, to be dressed as Santa Claus. So yeah, what's up, guys? Hello. Hopefully you guys had a great holiday with your families. Yeah, we're approaching the end of 2025. So let's see, we got a couple of questions here, and then we'll just kick up. This is going to be a chill stream. We're going to be sculpting. I actually want to do a little sort of like Zbrush sculpt. We're going to be working on that. And while we work on that, let's just have some fun. Let's just have some amazing questions. Let's just have some great like tips and tricks, you know, a little bit of everything. Mustafa, thank you for the sub, my friend. 11 months, almost 1 year there. Bravo art, nice costume. Thank you, my friend. Yeah, it's a fun moment to enjoy and just be happy about. I don't need the beard anymore. I have a very long beard now. I'm gonna be trying to grow this a little bit more. Let's see how it does. And then in a couple of years, I'll probably get all white, and that's gonna be the end stage, the final evolution of Ave Santa. There we go. So what's up, my friends? Let's see. Let's take a look at some of the questions, and then we'll jump right into sculpting here. And we'll have, yes, you saw the little announcement there. We are gonna have some giveaways. So let me just make sure that our friend David here helps us with the proper setup. You guys know the drill. It's gonna be on Discord. Let me check this real quick. Let's see. Let's go here. Yes. Okay, so I'll show you how this works in just a second. And let's take a question here. So Natrick was asking, "Hey Ave, how can I texture something if I've never textured anything without following a tutorial?" That's actually a very common pitfall for like a lot of us artists, right? Like when we learn something, we like to copy the tutorial, but the most important thing that you need to do when following any tutorial is you need to understand why we do the things that we're doing. That's something that I'm very careful about when I'm teaching my stuff. I always explain this is the tool and this is why we use the tool, because if you understand the why, then the next time you face something, the next time you're actually like trying to create something, you can use those why answers and be like, oh, I use this tool for this other character, so that means I can use that tool for this character by just adapting it to the new prop, right? And this works with everything. If you're doing texturing, oh, what do I need to do for this particular asset? Well, I remember doing this for this tutorial, which gave me, I don't know, dirt or metal edge wear or a specific type of damage or texture. Now I need to adapt, right? We talked about this last time in the last live stream. We need to extrapolate that information and try to figure out how to apply those same principles in the new stuff. There was when I applied to what's the word to Gnomon, like oof, like whoa, oh my god, this was like 13 years ago. 13 years ago. This was one thing that the lady there told me, and that was like really, it really took me by surprise when she mentioned, because she said when you go in here, like when you like if you're gonna be like attending this school, we don't want you to be a button monkey. We don't want you to just be pressing buttons and getting results. We want you to really understand what it is that you need to do to become a true artist, and that stuck with me, has stuck with me ever since. It's funny because when I started at Gnomon, she was no longer there. She was in Advisions back then. I don't remember her name now, but it was funny because she was so freaking right. Like, as an artist, you do need to learn why we do the things that we do, because if you learn the why, if you learn the fundamentals, if you learn the basic stuff, then you can extrapolate that to absolutely everything, okay? So, today we're going to be doing Santa. I want to do like a stylized version of Santa. I was thinking about doing like a... I've been reading this past couple of days, finally, after so many months where I couldn't read. I've been reading some series, and I read this book by one of my favorite authors, of course, which is Brandon Sanderson, and it's called The Alloy of Law. So if you guys are fans of Mistborn, I just started like era 2 of Mistborn. So this is the first book of the second trilogy right there. Let's see, it's this set right here that I'm reading. It's really good. But the cool thing about this book is that it's set in this sort of like what's the era? It's Victorian, but a little bit more steampunky, right? So it's not fantasy, it's a little bit more modern. So kind of like 1920s, sort of like that. And I was thinking, hey, what if Santa was in that like time frame, but he was like a fighter or something, right? Like a brawler. They call them the pewter arms inside of the mythology or of the mythos of the book. So they're these very strong elements or strong characters. There we go. So the first giveaway is up, my friends. We're gonna have a couple of giveaways today to celebrate Christmas, of course, and to celebrate our last live stream of the year. As you guys know, you can go here to our Discord channel. If you go to the notice board, there's the events channel, and you can click right here to get one course from our site for free. Any course, even one of the newest ones, such as the hand-painted course or the anatomy course, right? If you want to learn Zbrush, if you want to learn Maya, if you want to learn Blender, Marvelous Designer, if you want to learn the basics of retopology, anything, you can get one free course if you win this giveaway right here in our Discord channel. So make sure to join the Discord if you haven't already. There's going to be a link that David's going to be sharing here in the chat very shortly, and you just need to go here to events and click on that little party popper thingy right there. That's it. That's all you have to do. If you do that, you'll be participating. Bunty says, is iPad Air good enough for sculpting or have to have Pro? Yes, no, definitely good. I have actually the iPad 10 Gen, like iPad generation 10 or something like that. It's not even the Air version, and it works perfectly fine. I recorded the whole iPad course with that one. I do find the screen to be a little bit small. I'm not gonna deny that. It definitely feels a little bit small, but I do recommend it. It's really good. So let's just start exaggerating things a little bit. We're gonna go for like a very big nose here, and I want to have this sort of like intense stylized effect right here. There we go. This is one of my favorite parts of any character when we're working on the basic forms and trying to find the character, right? I'm definitely gonna go with like a very big jaw here. He's gonna have the beard, of course, but let's start with just like the very basic like thing here. Let's make the eyes a little bit smaller. And let's exaggerate the zygomatic arc a little bit more. Definitely gonna stylize him a little bit. Is the Huion Pro 16 easy for beginners to tablets to learn? Yes, like there's not such a thing as a beginner to tablets. Like any tablet that you pick, it's gonna be a good option to start with. But yeah, the Huion 16 is really good. I have that one for my tablet or for my laptop. I use that one when I'm working on my laptop. Right now I have the Huion 19. I really want to try the new one, the new 24 and 27, which has a high refresh rate. Because that's the only thing that I don't like about the tablet that I have right now, that is 60 hertz refresh rate. So if you're like if that's one thing that might bother you, just keep that in mind. It's like not really a big deal, right? But it's important. Let's see. Alejandro says, hi everyone. Is it valid to subdivide once my low poly mesh in Marmoset before rendering some images? Yes, of course. Totally fine. Totally fine, man. I would include both versions if possible, like a low version and a subdivided version, and just like and just go from there. Do you have any reference or just sculpting from imagination? You guys want to see? I did a sketch yesterday. I was trying to like figure something out. It's not like super intense, but let me show you the sketch. Because someone asked, what's one of your like New Year's resolutions? I want to learn how to, well, not learn. I want to improve how to draw. So I feel like I know how to draw, you know, basically enough. Like I can communicate an idea with drawing, but I wanna get like way better at it. So that's gonna be one of my elements. So this was the sketch that I did yesterday. Show it to you guys. There you go. And that's like roughly what I'm following. Again, not bad, but not great. I'm trying to learn how to properly clean up line work, because I feel like I can do a relatively good sketch, but I don't like my line work. It tends to be very messy. And I know there's different like art styles. Some people work very messy, but I always admire people who can do like really clean artworks. Can we do good sculpting in Blender? Zbrush is too expensive for me. Of course you can, man. Like Blender is an excellent option for sculpting, especially if you're just learning. Like actually one of our best courses, the Blender Axe tutorial, that one uses Blender for the sculpting process. So yeah, totally. You can totally do Blender for sculpting, and you're just gonna be just fine. Yeah, it looks like Claus, right? Most of the Santa Clauses tend to be or look quite similar. So I'm gonna see if I can like exaggerate some proportions in just a bit. But yeah, let's see. That's pretty good. It's okay. Yeah, that's right. Like I want to make him again like a brawler. So that's one thing that I love about Brandon Sanderson. If you guys haven't heard about him, and he has some really freaking cool magic systems, and the magic system that they use in Mistborn is so original, to be honest. It's about metals, right? It's called allomancy, and the way it works is people have the power to literally eat metals, like they eat like shavings of metals, like small like bits of metals, and then they use those metals to get powers, right? So, and then you consume the metal pretty much. That's one of the magic systems that he has on that world. And the cool thing about that magic system is that every metal has a different power, right? So a very common one is pewter, which is the one that I'm mentioning right now, and that one is gives you strength, like makes you really freaking strong. There we go. So let's start with the basic construction of the eyes. Let me make him a little bit older, so I'm gonna push this thing lower. There we go. Let's see. You also did helmet sculpting in Blender recently. The texture, yeah. You want me to share the helmet texturing process? Sure, I did promise us when to share that, so let me share that. We're gonna take a little bit of segue here. How do they say that? What's the proper word when you're talking about something and then you just like randomly drop into something completely different? In Spanish we call that tangente. Is that the same thing? A tangent? Detour? Yeah, sounds like that. Where is it? Second. Tangent. Digression, yeah, digression is also another way to say it. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me find it because I'm not sure where it is. Assets. Where is it? Man, I can't find it. Did I erase it? No, here it is. Hello, Nitish. How are you? Were you a good boy this year? Did you guys behave, or I'm gonna go and leave you cold in your what's the word? In your house. Okay. So this is the, let me increase the exposure a little bit so we can see a little bit better. This is the helmet that we sculpted. We did sculpt this inside of Blender. Most of it, I did take it into Zbrush after the fact. I'm not gonna deny that. I did take this and added a couple of extra details inside of Zbrush. This thing I did inside of Maya, if I'm not mistaken. So that little belt right there is modeled. But yeah, this is the result. Now it's a very, very simple construction of the helmet. So let me break this down for you. So the first thing that I did, let's see. Let's turn everything off. Yeah. So funnily enough, the first thing that I did is I used one of my old materials. We talked about this material during one of our live streams several months ago, and I used this one right here, old gold. It's a material. It's a smart material that I created. If you didn't see that one, I believe we did do a short. Alan's gonna correct me if I'm wrong, but it's a very simple construction of a basic metal. So the way this works is we start with a basic metal right here. This metal controls the basic, like a mesh of the whole thing. Then we have a little bit of roughness variation, or sorry, roughness control. This is going to control our roughness. Then we add some rust on specific areas. I did add a paint layer here to paint specific areas of the rust. Then we add some green color variations. As you can see, this gives me a sort of like a dirty metal look, so it doesn't look as uniform. Then I added a red breakdown as well. So as you can see, this just gives color variation to my metal helmet. And then I added a metal edgeware. That's pretty much it. As you can see, that pretty much gives me a nice sort of like basic like break for the whole thing. And then the magic starts, and the magic is pretty much creating layers. So this old dusty ground thing I did, I used it to break up the surface a little bit. So as you can see, without this one, most of the surface is very smooth and very clean, which was the basic sculpt that we did. And this one allows me to sort of like break that down a little bit and add a little bit of like breaks on the whole silhouette, right? After that, I added the basic layers there for the leather, and then I added the basic layers for the gold. And then I added these stitches. I used the new path ribbon tools for those stitches, which give me a little bit of a nice effect. You can see that right there. So is it that one? Yeah, it's the path stitches. So that gives me, you know, a little bit of a cloth effect. Not bad, right? And then this scratches right there, and a little bit more grunge. So all of these layers that I have right here, these are just grunge layers. So this one right here gives me a little bit of extra shadow on some of the dimples. This one right here just like tones down my roughness quite a bit. So as you can see, this looks okay, but it was looking a little bit too rough for my taste. So I brought the roughness down a little bit with that general feel layer. This one right here gave me a little bit of the damage on the leather effects. This one right here changed the whole color. So I made the color a little bit more like I don't know, it's not necessarily bronze, but maybe, you know, like brass or something. So it just changed things in general. And finally, another layer of like big rust at the end. So I want this to be like an old helmet, and this is pretty much it. So yeah, this was the general process. Now, of course, one of the things that can definitely help are the rendering stuff. I showed you a render a couple of weeks ago. I'll show you some more renders later, because I'm preparing this for a little surprise for next year, guys. So I think you guys are gonna like it. Do you think learning color theory and values are important for hand painting stylized 3D models? Dude. Learning color theory and learning values is the most important thing for learning hand painted stuff. Like, hands down, before you learn absolutely anything else, hand painted stuff absolutely needs color theory and value theory. We need to understand how to properly use value and color to get the most out of your painting stuff. Like, By far, like I've learned more about hand painted stuff by learning about traditional painting techniques, oil painting, acrylic painting, pastels, wash, right? Like all of these things. I've learned more about hand painted by learning about those things and applying them, again, extrapolating the information. We've talked about this before, than by learning specific techniques about the 3D world. Yes, there are specific techniques that you can use inside of Substance, inside of 3D Code, inside of Zbrush, inside of anywhere, but the fundamentals are like the foundations of hand painted stuff. Like you're not gonna find anyone who is like really freaking good at hand painted who doesn't know the fundamentals of paint and color. So for your question, yes, you definitely need to learn. Will there be any sales in the training courses soon? I miss Black Friday and I'd like to buy too, but money's tight right now. No, yeah, we don't do sales like very often, man. Just like on very special occasions. I understand the money situation. What I would recommend, start with one, learn it fully, because another thing that a lot of people do is they buy the course and then they never watch it. So you're just killing yourself there. So just buy one, do it like really nicely, and then you can jump onto the next one. Let's see. In game art, do you recommend adding very high frequency in Zbrush or Substance Painter? It depends. That's a great question, but it always depends. If you're going to be 3D printing, or if you're going to have some really intense close-ups or things like that, then yes, adding it inside of like Zbrush is a really good idea. I do recommend it. But if you're not, then waiting until the texturing stage is usually a little bit better, because at that point you're going to know how much resolution you're going to have, and you're not going to be like spending time on something that might not be needed, right? So again, it really depends. Always ask your client, always ask your lead. I personally try to add it, like on my personal projects, I will try to add it, but I refrain from doing like super microscopic things, unless I'm gonna, again, like be 3D printing something or doing it like very intensely. There we go. Okay. What do you recommend to learn about fundamentals of color light theory, techniques, practices? Value studies are probably one of the best things that you can do. Like just take any like famous painting and try to do your own version, even if it's just very sketchy, instead of Photoshop, instead of Krita, anywhere. Just try to break it down and understand where the values are. Like value study is probably the best one. And after you do that, then yeah, you can start incorporating color. But I would say value is more important. I can't seem to get my sharp edges without any artifacts on the bake. Will that be too noticeable? Not sure about specifically which sharp edges you mean, but you probably need an extra bevel on your low poly. It's a very common issue. People try to make things like way too low poly, and you probably want to have a little bit more variation there. Merry Christmas, Dams! Merry Christmas! Any tips in sculpting damage like cracks in concrete, or is it better to use texture? Yeah, no, you can definitely sculpt those. You can definitely sculpt those. I'm getting a little bit of like Mr. Incredible vibes here with the general shape of the head, which is not bad, right? Like Mr. Incredible tends to be like this heroic figure, so I'm fine with that. But I do want to make him, you know, a little bit different, so a little bit more of this. There we go. It's a really small eyes. There's very famous nasolabial fold right here, right? I'm not doing the mouth because we're gonna be covering that with the hair in just a second, with the mustache. So let's do that. Let's append a new oh my god, append a new sphere. There we go. Push this forward, make that really small, and then I'm gonna use my move brush. Let's do something very graphical, very funny. So let's Dynamesh there. There we go. What do I mean by graphical, right? So usually when you're talking about like very stylized stuff, something that they push quite a bit, again, in very stylized stuff, is harsh angles, right? Normally in the real world, we don't have harsh angles. Everything's very soft and flows nicely. But in stylized, where we can do this kind of stuff, right? Where things look very squarish in this case, and we can definitely sort of like push those situations up and generate something that looks, well, interesting. This is not something that you could do in realism, but yeah. Let's see. Merry Christmas! I main demons. Merry Christmas. I'm doing a house with bricks. What do you recommend? Doing architecture only for the walls or have... No, definitely displacement. If you're doing bricks, definitely displace those bricks, because otherwise it's going to look very, very boring. There you go. I think the mustaches might be a little bit too big, so let's make a little bit smaller. Nice. I'm just going to add a little bit of a bump in certain areas. This is just breaking the general clumps of the hair. Right? Something like this. Danny says, at work, not really. I have some time on my iPad. What would you recommend? I can practice in such yeah, like just do small sculpts. Have you checked the iPad course that we have? I made that one specifically with small exercises in mind. So most of the exercises there are relatively like short. You can do them very quickly. We do a bust, we do it like a chest, we do like a statue. So all of those things, those tend to be good ways to learn about the software and improve your sculpting. You can always have a bigger mustache. We make it a little bit bigger. Oh yeah, let's make it just a tad bit bigger. There you go. We're cleaning this up. As you can see, I'm also keeping like a very sort of like angular look on the ears as well, right? Like sharp lines. This is one way of stylizing. There's so many different ways. All of them are perfectly valid. I'm keeping them... I want to make them as pointy, so let's round them off a little bit. I'm going to keep them sharp there, but I want to sort of like round them off. Let's see. Juan Guerra, what's up, my friend? I did get your message, my friend. I'll answer after the stream. But yeah, you're fine. We're good there, so don't worry. Sorry, I got a lot of messages this past couple of days, so I'm behind in answering them. I did step away from my computer for a while. I wanted to get some rest and especially some time with the family. But we're back. I finished Expedition 33 also. That was a good game, guys. It's a really good game. Definitely 10 out of 10. If you haven't played it, I know it can be a little bit obnoxious here now about everyone saying how good of a game it is, but like, yeah, it is that good. Like, even if you just go through the story and you don't want to do any of the extra bosses and extra content, really freaking good, man. Really freaking good game. Great story. Hello, Sandra. Hello and welcome. That's an awesome theme room, man. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Yeah, I'm very proud of this room. It's my little dungeon here. Made it myself earlier this year. Yeah, was it early? Yeah, it was this year, right? We started 2025 with this one. I'm gonna see. I'm not promising anything, but I want to finish the Dragon Skull like soon, and maybe we'll have it like, I don't know, like around here or something. But yeah, it's that was our room for the year. Okay, so let's go with the beard now. Oh yeah, let's go long beard. A little bit of a swirl here. Let's buff it out a little bit more. See how easy it is to block things in? This is one of the things that I always tell you guys. Whenever you're dealing with a character, a creature, anything in general, always figure out your main shapes first and then the details. This is why the blocking stage is such an important stage, and a lot of people tend to rush through it. They want to jump straight into the details. They want to do the wrinkles. They want to do the pores and everything. But the blocking stage is, I would argue, like the most important stage of the whole process. If you spend enough time making sure that the whole thing looks nice, then you're gonna have a great time on the rest of the process. There we go. What are your thoughts about Expedition 33 being disqualified as Game of the Year? They were disqualified on a different... it was not the Game Awards. Like, they still have their Game Awards thing. I understand. I think it's a little bit of... they're just like looking for excuses at this point to sort of like bring it down because people think it might be overhyped, right? I think a placeholder texture like... that they were arguing about. I think it's such a non-issue. Like, we've used placeholder textures for so many things. We use placeholder like models for a lot of things. Like, there's so many things that can sort of like be used in that way. So I do think it's a little bit of an exaggeration, to be honest. But I understand. Like, if it was in the rules, hey, it's the rules. Gotta follow the rules. You gotta follow the rules. How can I sculpt with tablet 3 buttons without messing up my long workflow with mouse? I don't. This is the funny thing, Endogi. I actually don't use any buttons on my tablet. I have a small keyboard. Let me see if I can show it to you. So I have this like small keyboard that I use, and I always sculpt with shortcuts. I don't have like buttons on my like brush. The only buttons that I have are like normal click, main click, middle click. That's it. It's a little bit more. There you go. Now that eyebrow's looking a lot better. This one, of course, we're eventually going to give it a little bit more, you know, breakpoint there. A little more silhouette. I recommend Stream Deck for Zbrush. Sven, are you trying to get someone? Like, no, why would you do that, man? Why would you do that? Let's see. First giveaway is up, my friends. Congratulations to... No, wait. Oh, David, you scared me, man. I thought I missed the winner. Sorry. No, the first giveaway is up. So you guys can still go in here and participate to win one of the free courses from our channel. You just need to go here to the Discord, events, and click on this little thing right here. Man. What happened to your key dial mini? No, it's still here. It's still here. I got it. But to be honest, I haven't used it. Like, I use it, you know, for what the key dial is really good for Zbrush for iPad. So if you're working on the iPad on a table or whatever, and you're like sculpting with your Apple Pen or whatever, the Huion like got it. Like it's amazing because you don't have to deal with the freaking buttons on the screen that are a little bit like weird. Like, my thumb is very fat, so I always struggle to impressing the buttons. But if you're using the key dial mini, it's like having a keyboard, right? So I know people are using like a normal traditional keyboard with the iPad. So the key dial mini is a great option there as well. Happy holidays, Terry! Happy holidays. And that's the thing about like my thoughts about AI and why we shouldn't be so critical about it, because I was seeing some comments where they say, no, if a game uses even a little bit of a texture as AI, I'm immediately like gonna boycott it and I'm not gonna buy it. It's like, dude, like, what's gonna happen if you take that stance is the studios are just gonna get like really good at trying to hide it as much as possible, because they are using it. Every single studio, every single thing that you love about the entertainment world right now, they are using AI in some way or another. Sometimes it's for boring stuff such as organizing data or just like figuring out some bugs or whatever, but sometimes they might be using it, as we saw there, as a placeholder, and eventually they're gonna replace it. Hopefully we see more studios following the thing that Sandfall is doing, where they use it, but they still of course hire the concept artists. Larian also mentioned that, right? Like, they are using AI to do some exploration and things like that, but they still have like very talented concept artists, 3D artists and everything doing the actual work. So it's a tool. It's a tool. We just need to learn how to use it properly. Don't think that just because something uses AI, that's it. I mean, we use AI all the time for our subtitles on the shorts. Like, most of those subtitles are AI generated with After Effects, I believe. So it's like, do we complain about that? No, right? So that's why I think we should be a little bit more, what's the word? Lenient, maybe? I don't know. Let's see. Why Santa doesn't have wrinkly face even though he's like villain's usual? Oh no, this one will definitely be a little bit more wrinkly. Definitely a little bit more wrinkly. Just figuring the basic shapes first. Let's do the little hat. So for that, I'm gonna use a Rink 3D. This is a little bit of a trick. It's not like the best trick, but you guys might like it. I've seen people use this one before. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to fit the hat right here. Get it close. And you know how the hat has this sort of like fluffy like vibe to it? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give this a couple of subdivisions. And then I'm gonna go to geometry, or to geometry. Where is it? Deformation? No, not deformation. Was it deformation? no, surface. Surface, noise. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a very big noise scale. Very, very, very big. And play a little bit with the curve. Just hit OK. And hit apply to mesh. And as you can see, that's just going to try like push things out and around a little bit. Make it, you know, look more rough, more interesting. How do you use brushes from the lightbox to my UI, Leal? Okay, so that's a great question. That's a great question. So the way to make sure you have brushes, like for instance, I have the orb cracks right here. I have the orb flatten edge. I got the orb rock detail. The way to get brushes that are not on your basic UI right here is you first need to get them into the basic UI. They need to be here. So as you can see, I have my orb flatten edge, orb cracks, orb rock detail here on my basics or like tool or brush palette. And the way to do that, you need to go to where you install Zbrush. So I have my Zbrush right here. And you need to go to C Startup and then brush presets and you drop them there. So you drop whatever brush you want to have on your main brush palette. You drop it here on the, again, your version of Zbrush, C Startup, brush presets. Once it's here, you select it, right? For instance, here I can select, I don't know, this orb rock details. And then you go to brush and it's going to appear here. And then you can drag and drop it over here. So that way, every time you open Zbrush, you're going to have it on your UI. First winner in a minute. There you go. There we go. We're going to have our first winner in just 1 second. Sparrow TB. Thank you. Thank you for the watch streak right there. And the winner, the first winner of our giveaway for today's, for the Christmas special is Ryan Haley. Ryan, congratulations, my friend. Congratulations on winning one of our free courses. From our, not free courses, one of our courses from our site. It's gonna be free for you. So I'm gonna be reaching out to you after the stream ends, and or you can just send me a message right now and then tell me there on Discord which course you would like. And if you already have an account on the site, it makes it a lot more easier. So you can just like enroll onto the, for instance, the free portfolio workshop that we have right there, and that way I can just like automatically add it to your account. Otherwise, I'll send you a code so that you can redeem it. Okay, but there we go. Congratulations, Ryan. Congratulations on winning the first giveaway for today. Now we're gonna do the little hat for Santa here. So I'm gonna go a pen. We're and let's do another sphere. There we go. Now for this one, I'm actually not going to use symmetry. This is the sketch that I have. So as you can see, there's no symmetry on the hat. We're changing a couple of things. There we go. Let's just move brush. This is where the curve brush might not be a bad idea, but I'm going to try to do it a little bit more manually here. There we go. Now here, what I want to capture is again the sharpness of the fabric, right? So we want to have some intense angles. There we go. Let's see. Bro, I spent a huge amount learning 3D character design for games. Canada Think Tank Training Center. From a poor family, built a decent beginner portfolio, applied everywhere, only rejections or low pay. Also, very few openings. Now doing a graphic design just to survive. No time for 3D. Slow losing touch. Life stuff, bro. Yeah, man. I understand. Here's what I've been telling a lot of my students lately. I know we all want to be working in games because games are fun and we love games. We want to be part of that industry. It's a great industry to be. There's amazing people working there. But it's not the only industry. You can be doing characters in a lot of other industries that are not necessarily games. The collectible industries, it's a really big one, especially now with like 3D printing. There's a lot of people looking for custom stuff. There's the advertisement industry, which always needs a lot of like this kind of stuff. There's the movies industry, which also has its own like little issues every now and then. But in general, what I want to say here is try to look for opportunities of what you want to do, which in this case is characters, in other industries that you might not be thinking about, where you could potentially be doing something similar. I've mentioned this before. One of my main things is museums. I work for museums, and yes, we do character for museums. Is it the same kind of character as Kratos from God of War? Of course not. We do like historical figures, or we do like scientists, or we do like other types of characters, but it's still a fun character to do. It's still a job. It pays well because there's a little bit more money sometimes on those kind of projects. So even though, yes, it can be a little bit tough, I would recommend to try to broaden up your horizons and see where you can use the skills that you have, even if it's not initially or ideally the place that you would love to be. And little by little, you can try and work for that, right? it's like don't make your whole life or your whole dream depend on just one single outcome, right? Because if you do that and you don't achieve it, then yeah, I can understand why that can be very, very depressing, right? But if you just say, hey, I want to be an artist and I don't care what kind of 3D I do, maybe I'll do characters, maybe I'll do environments, maybe I'll do props, maybe I'll do whatever, simulations or effects or I don't know, animation. Like if you think of it that way, you're gonna be a little bit more flexible, I would say, or your options are gonna be more flexible, and it's a little bit better to utilize the skills that you have. It's if someone who's like learning to play guitar says, I want to be a rock star and I want to be playing at the biggest stadiums and at the Super Bowl. Like, how many people actually get there, right? I know our industry is not as hard as that, but I'm just saying that if you have more options, it's a little bit better. Let's see. Yeah, we got the second giveaway happening right now, guys. So you can jump straight into our Discord channel and you can click on this little guy right here. 1 course for free from ableal3d.com. Second giveaway right here on this little party popper thingy. And yeah, we're gonna hear who the winner is in just a second. Okay, now finally we just need our eyebrows. So we're just gonna append a new sphere. And eyebrows, I'm also gonna make them a little bit, you know, exaggerated and intense. So let's push this forward. Gotta win this time. You got it, Pokey. You got it. Pokey is cop. Let's see if you get it this time. Let's see. Someone was asking about mentorships, right? How much you charge for your mentorship? I can send you a message on Discord, or rather, you can send me a message on Discord, and I'll show you or share with you all of the information. Let's see. Let's make this again like really intense. That's a great question, Elemental. Yes. So the advice you're gonna get most of the time in the schools, like anyone who's teaching you like the basics of 3D or whatever, they're gonna say focus on one thing. I agree. That's the best thing you can do if your goal is to work at a very big studio, right? So if you want to work at Pixar, if you want to work at Disney, if you want to work at Blizzard, if you want to work at I don't know, Bethesda or whatever, yes, you need to be really freaking good at one particular skill. Like, they're not gonna hire you as a modeler and then ask you to do animation. That's not gonna happen. So that's why they tell you, if that's what you want to do, you need to be really good at just one specific skill. However, as we just saw right here, it is tough. It is not very easy to get there. Why? Because there's a lot of people that want to get there. A lot. Like, a lot. Like, there's a stupid amount of people who want to get into those big studios. So if you want to have, like, again, that's where you need to make a decision. That's a personal decision that you need to make. Do I want to work in big like projects and in big like things? Then I need to be really focused and work my ass off to get the best skills that I can and get there. Sure, that's a possibility. But if you're like, no, I want to do a little bit of everything, even though I'm going to be working on the smaller studios like indie studios, or I'm going to be working on advertisement, I'm going to be working on other things where we use 3D, and then on my free time I can just like keep doing 3D that I love. That's another option as well, and it's a perfectly valid option. A lot of people think that the only option that they have in this industry is to work in AAA studios, and that's not it. Like, yes, it's a really cool it's a really cool opportunity, and it's really nice to be there. But every single place has its ups and downs, right? Like advantages and disadvantages. So even though it might seem like that's like the only thing that you could potentially do, again, there's so many other things. So don't ignore all of the other opportunities, because you might find some really interesting opportunities if you decide to I don't want to say to kill your dream, right? Like, no, it's not killing your dream. It's just like opening your horizons and realizing, hey, look at this other opportunities that we have over here, right? I think my oh yeah, it's tired, man. Where's my little thingy? It's tired. We're gonna need to add in something in the ILM has a video titled Inside ILM to be a journalist, and they talk about the importance of journalists and why they prefer hiring them. Yes, again, every studio is going to be a little bit different. Some studios do like that. They do like to have the ability to switch or move around. Like, for instance, I know that I believe Steam does a similar approach where you're kind of like free to work on whatever it is you want to work within the studio. So It's just approaches. It's different approaches, different ways of seeing things. Okay, cool. I think we're in a good position now to start jumping into a little bit more detail. So let's start with the face. So what I'm going to do here with the face is I'm going to just increase resolution. Just increase resolution and start working on cleaning up some of the forms. What do I mean by cleaning up the forms? Just like defining the edges a little bit better, especially with this sort of like stylized like art style that we want to have. We need to have some sharp edges, some of the borders of the element. Do you ever lose passion for 3D stuff? And if so, how do you get back? Oh, that's a good question, man. Yes. Here's the thing that they don't tell you about, especially when you're in school. This is a job. At the end of the day, this is a job, right? Like a 3D artist or an artist in general, a production artist, an artist that's working on the entertainment industry, it's a job. As with any other job out there, there will be moments where you don't want to do the job. You're tired. There's things going on in your life, family stuff, I don't know, love stuff, whatever. So it is possible to get tired of it, right? To get tired of the job part of things. Politics, right? Even when you're in the best studio in the world, there's going to be politics in place, meaning that there's someone who you don't like, someone who doesn't like you, an obnoxious co-worker, maybe a boss that doesn't value what you're doing, right? Like that kind of stuff happens everywhere, every single where. I remember a teacher I had in school, he worked at Disney for a long time, and he worked on really big movies back in the 90s as a 2D animator. And right now, or at least back when he was our teacher, he hated Disney. He was like, I hate it. They are horrible. I do not want to know anything about them anymore. Like, never. Like, I just hate them because when they were let go, they were like super like mean to all of the artists, and they didn't value all of the things that they did, right? So it's one of those things that you need to understand, that there's we tend to romanticize things a little bit too much in this industry, and we think like everything is like perfect and everything is easy. No, man, like there's so many like bullshit things that you need to take care of, right? So once you understand that, once you stop romanticizing things and you realize this is just like any other job, that makes it easier to do the job side of things. You just go in, you do your job, you do it as best as you can, you try to grow, you try to learn, and that's it. Then when you go home, and then that's the area where you really refill your energy, right? Watching a great movie or a great series, playing a great game, reading books, like that kind of stuff is the stuff that, to me at least, gives me a lot of like energy back, so that I can go the next day and just keep doing what I do. One thing that really helps, and of course, again, I feel very fortunate, and this of course thanks to you guys, but when you are doing something that impacts others, like what I do with teaching, that like it's such a big thing, right? Because it allows me to feel the feedback immediately when I'm working with my students in the mentorships, when I'm like recording a new course, when I'm like teaching a class, when I'm recording content, like all of that stuff is really fulfilling, and it keeps my spark going personally, because I really enjoy the process, and I can see how that is helpful to a lot of other people. So if you can find a job or a role that is fulfilling in the personal level, that keeps your energy high for a long time. Let's see. Abe should start working on the environment course. I believe that will be a real hit because he has a lot of knowledge. I'm rooting for him the most to do that course, because when I compare him to other lecturers, Abe has simply a lot of knowledge. Yeah, oh man, I have a little bit of a clearer idea on how to handle that. But I'm probably gonna need your support, guys, when we get there, because one of the things that I realized is that the scope for the environment course that I originally had was way too big, and it was not allowing me to share all of the information that I wanted. So I'm probably gonna have to do a smaller scope version. So instead of doing this huge environment with a lot of stuff and a lot of props and a lot of assets, we're probably gonna have to do a small one where, again, you're gonna have to extrapolate the information from that into a bigger environment if you want. Miss Antroprieta says, hi Abe, long time no see. Right now I'm trying to get into anatomy sculpting, but going straight into realistic modeling seems way too complex. No, you should start with realistic. I know it's what's the word? It might feel overwhelming. It might feel like it's too much or like it's too difficult, but you definitely should do traditional, so like a naturalistic approach to anatomy first, and then you stylize. Because if you don't learn the basics, then stylization becomes way more complicated. So definitely learn the basics first. Let's see. Thank you very much for Miss Fee says, thank you very much for your time and information. Thank you guys for your support. It's thanks to you that we can do this. And I will never, ever stop saying that. Thanks to the team, of course, David, Alan, who have been amazing this year. If you like the shorts and the reels that we've been like sharing every day, that's thanks to our good friend Alan here, who's been editing them, taking the best bits from our lives and the content. So thank you, Alan, for that. Let's see. Didn't know Santa had such sculpting skills. Oh, Santa is very... He knows stuff, man. He knows stuff. Set something here. Do more for a wrinkle. I was thinking about doing like a tattoo here. You know how like the Mexican gang people have like a little like a tear or something. I was thinking, I don't know, like a Rudolph, like a little Rudolph tattoo there on the on the corner of his face. I think that might look interesting. You made a really funny video with the Zbrush crashing. Oh, that was so much fun. That was a good one. Talking about that, let's do a quick save before anything happens here. Let's see. Marus says, hello, I'm very much enjoying the insight you have. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. I'm glad you are. I'm glad you are. It's always these positive comments that make me very happy. So thank you guys for all the support. So we do get our fair share of trolls and negative comments every now and then, which are fun to read as well. One thing that you should do, and this is very important as a person, you should always like take a look at everything that is being said about you, right? You should never take anything too seriously. Not the good things, not the bad things. Just keep your foot on the ground. But listen, because every now and then, hey, they might have a point. So let's see. Do we get part 2 of that video in this stream? Which video? Of the Zbrush crashing? No, I hope not, man. I hope we don't get a crash today. I'm really enjoying this right now. Now, here's a little tip. It's not like the most like important tip in the world, but it's something that can work. Some people like to have a poly paint enabled to get like a better idea of how their stuff is looking. So for instance, here I'm gonna go for the red. I'm just gonna go here. And there's a nice little button that they added on the paint options over here, poly paint, where I can just say fill color. So I can go to this one, for instance. Let's go white. Let's say fill color. Let's do the mustaches, fill color. Let's do this one, fill color, the beard, fill color. Eyes I usually fill with white as well. And then the skin here, we can go with a little bit of a tone, like skin tone. Doesn't have to be like super saturated or anything, just to get something, right? So some people do like to work with color. It helps them visualize things a little bit more. It depends, right? Like if you like it, go for it. Do you think 3D art is natural talent or just practice? Practice. Any form of art is just practice. Like there's absolutely no one in the world that was born knowing all of the things that you need to know as an artist. No one. Now, of course, there are things, right? Like if you're really good at analyzing forms, if you're really good at like digesting information, if you're really good at like perceiving colors, right? Of course, some people are more talented, right? Or they're going to be able to achieve higher like things in their artistic journey because they have a predisposition to this kind of elements. I'm going to make a very sort of like horrible comparison here, but let's imagine like you are very bad with your eyesight. Like you are using like very, very heavy graduation on your eyes. Like without glasses, you don't see anything. You're probably going to struggle a little bit more if you want to be a painter. Of course, you can use glasses and other devices, but it's going to be a little bit more challenging for you, right? So there's definitely like certain things that you as a human will have as an advantage to other people. Others will have other types of advantages towards against you, right? But everyone can be an artist. Absolutely everyone. Absolutely everyone. Let's see. Yeah, right, Poke? Right? Let's try adding a couple more wrinkles here. And this is where we need to get some reference. So let me look for an old man face. Old man face. What am I looking for? I'm looking for some interesting like forms, some interesting like wrinkles. Remember, you usually want to go for a realistic, like this one right here, realistic face. Try not to use AI. It can be too much. There we go. So I want to see how plump or not I make this part of the cheeks. It seems like I can fill them in a little bit more. What's up? Hey, Patricio, Feliz Navidad y Año Nuevo próximamente. Want to know what's the best way to save in Zbrush? I personally like to save a C tool because C tool does not save any other tool. It just saves the current tool. So if you're using a lot of booleans or if you're using a lot of like I don't know, like meshes or whatever, you don't need to deal with all of that. But I know some people like to use as a project. I don't save as a file. I don't like out of like habit. I've just been doing, what's the word, C tool for a long time now. So that's what I recommend. I want to download Zbrush Core Mini, but I don't know how to download it. Can you make a video about how to download it, please? Zbrush Core Mini, is it still available? I thought it was discontinued. Zbrush Core Mini. Oh, it seems it's still there. I mean, just go here and download it, man. That's pretty much it. You need to download, I think you need to download the Maxon 1 app or something. Let me check. Give me 1 second. I can help you. Yeah, there's comments on YouTube as well, but they don't show on the screen. Sorry about that, Qthar. Might be a little bit confusing. I thought it was discontinued, man. I don't see it on the Maxon app. Not sure, to be honest. But I'm gonna be completely honest with you, man. Zbrush Core Mini, it's so basic. Like, it has so few tools that you're not really gonna be able to learn all of the things that you need. So if you want to learn about digital sculpting and you can't afford Zbrush right now, just jump and do Blender. Like you're gonna learn way more by doing like Blender stuff than if you try to do it with Zbrush Mini. Because again, it's very limited in terms of the tools that you have access to. Yeah, I thought it wasn't available anymore as well. If you have an iPad, you can download the free version of Zbrush there. It's not going to give you all the brushes, but it has like enough. That one it's a better one than Zbrush Mini, I would say. Hey, if I want to buy your substance course, say something to make me feel better. Te amo. Code GCCO. I love you too, my friend. Thank you for your support. And yeah, the Substance Painter is also another one of our bestsellers. So you're not going to regret it. That's one thing that I can tell you. You're going to learn exactly what I was mentioning at the beginning of the stream, which is understanding why we do the things that we do and how you can apply those things to get a nicer result on your sculpts. I'm going to use this snake hook brush right here. Now, snake hook is a really interesting brush. When you're using a like snake hook, you definitely want to turn on Sculptis Pro. Sculptis Pro is this thing right here, where what it does, you can see this on the polyframe. As I start dragging this thing out, it triangulates everything and it gives me more resolution. It's kind of like a dynamic dynamesh sort of thing, and especially for a snake hook, which tends to be a very sort of like aggressive brush that changes the form and the silhouette very intensely. This is really good. So I'm going to use this to break up the symmetry of the beard a little bit. Even smooth. Just be careful because the Sculptris Pro affects every single brush. So the smooth brush, the in this case the snake hook brush, all of the brushes are going to be affected by this. But it's really good because you can see I can very quickly create some like interesting shapes that will be very difficult to do without like dynamic geometry. It is based on the size of your brush. So if you have a very big brush, everything gets like tessellated into a very sort of like big square. If you have a very small brush, you get like a lot of density. So also be careful with that because it can like really increase your poly count quite a bit. Here I'm gonna start adding some like hair texture. One thing that we talked about on the stylized course, the hand painted course, is that the closer you get to the center line of your character, the more you want to break the symmetry because it's very obvious to see. But the further away you get from it, the more you can use it. So here on the sides, for instance, you can totally keep symmetry enabled, and it's fine because you're never going to be seeing both sides at the same time. pretty much. But the center, it's way more important. So definitely want to keep it a little bit cleaner there. Let's of course go here and fill color again. Now I want to paint the eyes. So I'm gonna grab my paintbrush here. Paint, and let's go very dark color. Eyes tend to be very, very big. He looks crossed-eyed. That's funny. Now let's just do one side here. There we go. See that? See how much that helps? Just a little bit of something there. We don't even need to render the eyes or anything, but just having that little extra information brings so much more character to our good friend Santa here. What happens if we use a snake hook without churning out Sculptris Pro? That's a great question. This is what happens. So if you use the snake hook, and you don't turn Sculptris on, you're gonna break the geometry very quickly. See that? Completely broken. It's gonna be very difficult to sculpt there. You're gonna have to dynamesh. Like if you're constantly dynameshing, then you're fine. It's pretty much the same thing. But ideally, you do want to use Sculpting Pro. Yeah, Santa's like, really, dude? Really? You're asking that? You're asking how you can get, how you can be a 3D artist in 1 month and get a job in the AAA studio? It's not gonna happen, man. It's not gonna happen. Make sure to go to the Discord channel, by the way, guys, and go here into our little free course giveaway that we have going on right now. What else are we missing? Do we add hair on the back? What do you guys think? Do we give like Santa long hair, or do we keep him bald? Is Santa usually long hair? Oh no. So right now he only has like the sideburns here. I'll probably push further up. I think we keep him bald. I was thinking about bringing... Should we do that? Should we bring the Oni, like the big muscle of the Oni, and see how Santa looks with that like big muscle structure? Give him a wig? Nah, we're not gonna give him a wig. Long hair would be interesting. Do what? Bring the Oni? Let's see a buff Santa. Let's see a buff Santa. Let's do this. It's gonna be funny. Let's grab chest. It's a chest. So this is the Oni from the Zbrush course. There we go. Santa. Now we're getting... Okay, so yeah, Santa went to the gym this year, guys. He definitely... He's definitely been lifting. Doesn't look that bad, to be honest. Like of course the legs are way too small, but let's get rid of them. Can we just cut right around there? That doesn't look that bad, right? I like it. I really like this one, to be honest. I think he's looking jacked. Yeah, protein cookies, right? Rudolph has been doing some heavy lifting with Santa as well. Yeah, let's just blend this. This is, by the way, a very common thing in production. Like, if you already have a body, like what we have right here, and we want to do a buff Santa, that's it. We just keep working from this one. We adjust certain elements, we fix on some like situations here and there, and that's it. We don't need to do everything from scratch again. Just push the beard up. We have the hair from the Oni, but I feel like this is like too crazy of a hair. Should we try it very quickly? Let's try it very quickly. Let's see how this works. Where's Santa? Santa, where are you? Here. Pant. the hair. Let me turn off the little hat for just a second. Symmetry on. Oh. Santa's looking very epic now. Very beautiful. Let's see. This is a fun thing about having your like own kits and stuff. You can get crazy very, very quickly. It's beautiful. Rockstar Santa. Yeah, very handsome, right? Handsome Santa here. Kind of like it, to be honest. Doesn't look half bad. It looks like Super Saiyan Santa. Oh man. Look what you guys make me do. Let's do color. That's it. Thank you for the resub, SWGMG. Poly paint. Fill color. What the hell? What the hell happened here? Oh, there you go. Fill color. We change the opacity? Yes. Color. Let's grab this one here. Fill color. There you go. Now let's bring in the little hat again. Probably gonna have to adjust this one a bit. Yeah, he looks quite epic now. Yeah, it's like Oni 2.0. It's like the good version of the Oni before he became like extremely evil or whatever. 1 minute for the next winner, my friends. Nah, we're probably gonna take the hair out. Like I really like it, but I think it's too much. The body is more than enough. But we're gonna take the hair out. Yeah, we're gonna give him bald like that. There you go, Solid Mango, my friend. You are the winner of 1 course for free. There you go. Congratulations, my friend. Hey, you've been a fan for a long time here on the channel, so I'm happy that you got it. Congratulations, congratulations, my friend. There you go. Happy holidays, Skidflakes as well. Let's see, what am I missing here? If you were to put this in the game, would you be making hair cards? And if so, do you have a course on that, or can you show how to make them? I've shown that before on the channel. I'm actually working on something that might be interesting very, very soon. But yeah, for this character, I would keep it sculpted. To be honest, I would keep the hair as a sculpted hair. I feel like this it keeps closer to the style of the character that we have right now. Yeah, let's keep working on a little bit of the cleanup here. There we go. We're gonna go for a 3rd giveaway, my friends. So if you haven't won anything yet, don't worry. You still got a couple of chances before we close this last stream of the year. And keep your questions coming. I love the questions. If we win, can we hold the free course token until the environment one is out? I would not recommend that, because the environment course, if it's going to come out next year, it's going to be like later in the year. We got a couple of courses planned before that one. So no, if you win, you do need to use it for one of the courses that we have currently available. Because then it's a mess to remember who has the like coupon and who doesn't, and it's just it's very tricky. How do I enter the giveaway, Toffinator? Very easy. You go into the Discord channel, and then you go here in the Notice board, and there's going to be an Events tab. And there on the Events tab, you can click on this little guy right here, the Party Popper. We got 29 minutes to go, almost 100 entries there. So good chances, I would say. Good chances. Okay, let's see. I'm looking at my reference here. I'm going to start adding a couple more wrinkles. Following what I'm seeing. Do we add a scar? What do you guys think? Should we add like a scar or something? Let's go here. My least, this is a confession, but my least favorite part to sculpt is ears. Find them so boring. It's not that they're hard, they're just boring. I'm missing the beer belly, right? Yeah. I mean, he's buff right now, so I don't think he's gonna have a belly, but could definitely add one later. Let's see. Santa need his a gift bag. I'm making a short film for my BA final project, and environments are so tough. Yes, they can be a little bit tricky. They can definitely be a little bit tricky. I'm not gonna deny that. And they're very technical. I think one of the reasons why people struggle with environments like a little bit too much is because there are so many techniques that you can use. Trim sheets, stylable textures, RGB masking, decals, post-processing, of course. Like, there's so many techniques that can be used, and you need to know which is the best for each particular case. So it gets tricky. Like, if you're doing hero assets, it's the same process as if you're doing like characters, right? Like, nothing really changes. But for more advanced things, then yeah, you definitely need to work a bit more there. Sir, what are your thoughts on the AI and industry situation? A lot of big artists are saying that there are no more jobs, industry saturated. What should we do? And does 3D art have any future? Yes, 3D art has a future. No, I'm not worrying about AI. Yes, AI is going to change the landscape of how studio work is done, not necessarily all the 3D work out there. So there's still going to be other types of opportunities, as I've mentioned before. Here, I'm going to say this, man. I'm going to say this. How long have we've been like fighting or, you know, worrying about 3D? 3 years, I would say, like roughly mid-pandemic. We're in like 2021, 2022, when we started seeing some like interesting models come out and generate like images and stuff. 3 years we've been worrying about AI destroying the industry and whatever. If you had started 3 years ago learning all of the things that you need to learn to become a really good digital artist, not just 3D, any type of like art, right? Like you could be doing, again, like you could be doing like concept art, you could be doing like animation, you could be doing like VFX. Like if you spent the last 3 years like really learning all of the skills, it will be very difficult for me to be like, yeah, you don't have the skills, right? Because 3 years of just like really studying any skill can get you quite far away. But I'm going to be honest, and this is calling some of you out, so I'm sorry if you get a little bit offended by what I'm about to say. Some of you guys are very lazy. Some of you guys, you want things to be easy. You want to only spend 1 hour in Zbrush every week and be as good as Rafael Grassetti. That's not going to happen, man. You need to work your ass off to really be good in this industry, and in any industry for that matter. Like, it doesn't matter what career you're pursuing. If you're not actually working and learning the skills that you need, you're not going to get very far. And yes, AI is going to take your job. But if you can demonstrate that you know how to do this stuff and you've been learning and you've been improving, then I would say don't be so scared of AI. Use it as a tool, incorporate it into your workflow when you can, and try to figure out what the best way is to make sure that you are valuable, right? Remember that we are valuable for two things: the things we bring to the table and the things that we know. right? Our knowledge is very important. A lot of you tend to sort of like undermine that. Like if you have a good eye for design, if you have a good eye for what works and doesn't work, if you have a good eye for timing, if you have a lot of like knowledge about the specific field or a specific thing, that can help you. That can be a very important part of your value as an artist. Not just doing the actual technical things, because yes, the industry again is changing, but it has been changing for a long time. Go ask anyone who's been on the film industry for a long time, and they're gonna say that most works are being outsourced somewhere else, right? Some of you guys might be from India, some of you guys might be from China, and there's a lot of outsourced work working over there. So we got to adapt to the current situation of the world. We cannot stop the machine in this case. We cannot stop the way like all of these things work. So the best thing that you can do is try to adapt to it and figure out what value you're bringing to the table. Because if you're not bringing any value, that's the problem, right? Like that's where things can get a little bit tricky. Priyanshu Sharma says, not even big artists are saying that 3D is not going to pay bills anymore and do it as a hobby. And that's fine. Like if the 3D industry where you are and the decisions that you want to make for your personal life are not going to allow you to be a 3D artist and pay your bills, that's okay. Is it the outcome that we want? Well, probably not. But that doesn't mean that there's not going to be 3D jobs, right? Like I would say it's very difficult for me to just like broadly claim like, oh, no one in the world's ever going to be able to earn a living by being a 3D artist, because that's not true. Are there going to be fewer people who are going to be able to make a living being a 3D artist? I don't know, maybe. And if that's the case, what we need to do, instead of like cry and be feeling sorry about everyone, is like, okay, well, how can I use my skills as a 3D artist to still do what I want to do? Because there are going to be other options. There are going to be other industries. There are going to be other ways to use your skills to keep doing art, keep creating, even if it's not exactly what you thought it was going to be. Okay? Hey, if I make a game asset, should I triangulate it in Blender or should I let Unreal Engine do it? Usually, I let Unreal Engine do it unless there's a couple of like very particular places where you have like non-planar faces and you want to have a lot more control. But yeah, I usually let the engine do it. And then if there's any shading issue, I'll just go back and fix it. Go with this area right here. Are you using trim dynamic instead of smoothing? Yes, I don't like smoothing. I don't like smoothing as much because smoothing tends to destroy a lot of the forms that you create. So I prefer to use trim dynamic, as you mentioned, because it gives me a more sort of like organic feel to the whole thing. I think I want to sharpen the zygomatic a little bit more. Add more volume here. You can export FVX with the trim modifier without applying it. Yeah, that's another option. Again, I usually let the engine handle it. And it usually triangulates at render time, so you're fine. Also, I wouldn't worry about AI because the threat of it taking your job has nothing to do with its ability to do your job and everything to do with higher-ups making stupid decisions. That's also right. and I think that's going to be something that the higher-ups, as Sparrow here is saying, will figure out. It's like, hey, yes, I'm trying to save money and get more revenue for the project by cutting artists and letting AI do stuff. And then they're going to have to hire a lot of contractors to come in and fix all of the mess that they're doing because they don't know how to properly use AI. So remember, and this is something I think Gary B says this, you're not going to be replaced by AI. You're going to be replaced by someone who knows how to use AI. So that's why I say, hey, we got to learn the process and how we can use it as a tool, not just ignore it. I'm going to give you a completely like valid example here, and some of you guys might disagree with what I'm about to say, but what do you guys think about photo bashing? Have you heard about that term before? Photo bashing concept art. Because when I was at school, this was a technique that was used quite a bit. There's hugely like successful artists that have used photo bashing for a long time, and one like a sentiment that a lot of people used to say was, "Oh, photo bashing is not. You're not a real concept artist if you're photo bashing." Is it? Are you? It's an interesting, right? Photo bashing is a technique. It's a way to do it. Would I call someone who's a photo basher or someone who uses photo bashing heavily a great illustrator? Maybe not. but that doesn't mean that he cannot come up with really interesting ideas for whatever it is they're trying to create. So photo bashing is as valid as a technique as whatever other technique you can think of. That's where the AI conversation comes into play. It's like, oh, that means then that we can use AI for that kind of stuff. The difference, though, the big difference between AI, for instance, and photo bashing is that when you're photo bashing, there is an intention behind that, like photo bashing, right? Like people will use that and they will think about what works the best, which pictures to use, where to use them, how to use them. AI just throws things and see what sticks, right? So even though as a concept artist, if I was a concept artist, I would like to know how to render things properly and how to illustrate things properly. That's a different kind of skill. That's a different kind of value that you're offering. When you're photo bashing, the value that you're offering is you're able to generate a lot of ideas quickly so that people can decide which one works the best. And then you can jump onto the next stage of the process, right? So we need to understand, and this is something that I talk about all the time. Let me go full camera here. There's a big difference between the sort of like traditional spiritual artistic thing of I want to do everything by hand, I want to be very traditional, and I want to make sure that everything's done as nicely as possible, and the production side of art, where in production, as you know, the way capitalism works, the way studios work, time is money. So the faster you can get to the result that you're looking for, the better you're going to be as a valuable piece of the whole system. That doesn't mean that you can be considered like the greatest artist out there, because maybe the skills that you have are not as good. But if the tools that you're using are allowing you to get the results done quickly, that's also valuable. So it's this sort of like dichotomy that we struggle with as artists, in understanding that yes, I need to be fast and efficient, I need to use tools, and I need to cheat my way by using techniques that some people might think are dishonorable, right, or not as honorable as others. But at the same time, we need to get the product going, because otherwise we're not going to be able to pay for the things that we need to pay, you know, salaries and all that kind of stuff. So if my advice is, when you're working in production, use and make as many things as you can with the tools that you're given. Like, no one's gonna really value, or it's not gonna be as valuable, because I don't want to say that no one's gonna value it. There are people who will value it. But when you're working in production, it's all about the output, like making sure the output is consistent in quality, in time, in deliveries. And when you're working on your own stuff, you want to do every single thing from scratch. You want to create your own alphas. You want to create your own meshes. You want to start from a sphere instead of a base mesh. That's perfectly fine. But that's not the way it really works in production. In production, there's so many shortcuts. Sometimes some of them are going to backfire, right? Like, they're not the best shortcuts, and you're like really just shooting yourself in the foot or sending the problem to someone else. But it's a very, very important thing that you need to understand, that it's not the same to be doing something in the traditional way where everything is like handcrafted than it is to do something that is done in a sort of a more production, money-oriented way. You need to decide what game you want to play. And this is very important. I'm going to give you another example here. Have you seen how many productions, stop-motion productions, are there in the world, usually, per year? 1, 2, maybe 3? Do you know why? Is it because there's not people around who want to do those kind of productions? No, I can assure you that there's thousands of students that would love to be part of a production that's doing like stop-motion stuff, because it's a very cool, interesting approach to like storytelling, right? But what's the problem with it? It's very time-consuming. It's very expensive. It requires a lot of like craftsmanship to do. And unfortunately, again, due to the way the capitalistic world works, is not going to sell as much as a more traditional 2D animation, more traditional 3D animation. I'm sorry. So you gotta decide. Do I want to be part of a team that's doing motion, like a stop motion stuff, even though I know I might not get paid as much, or even though I know that there might not be as much of a monetary return from that particular endeavor? Go for it. You want money, you want to be able to be like doing other things, and you want to have more stability or whatever, you might want to pick another type of projects. Like there's another big thing, and I've mentioned this before, there's advertisement. A lot of people think that advertisement is soulless, right? Like, oh, you're just doing 3D to sell a product, right? Like to sell a shampoo, or to sell watches, or to sell perfumes, or whatever. I've known so many extremely talented people doing advertisement, like people who are like modeling kings. They can destroy you in modeling, and they can model things so fast, so quickly, so efficiently, way better than anyone in game dev or cinema. But we tend to look down upon that career choice because they choose something that sells the art, right? Or that they're like sellouts. you can't have both, guys. Like, you need to decide, what do you want? Do you want to have stability? You want to have money? You want to have like a good sort of like life work balance and stuff like that? Well, you're gonna have to pick a career that allows you to do that. You want to have an artistic thing where every creative input is important, and where you want to have like this like huge recognition in the world because you're very skilled and very crafty. That's also okay, but there's always trade-offs, right? Like, there's always trade-offs, and you need to understand that those trade-offs are important for what you want for your life. Ideally, yes, there might be like the golden goose thing where you can find something that is like hugely artistic and at the same time hugely profitable. It is possible. It is definitely possible, but it's one of those things that it's going to be very tough to achieve. So it's complicated. I'm going to give you another example. I love this story because I had the discussion with my in-laws, and it's funny when you talk about art with people who are not artists because they see things differently. So there's this artist here in Mexico who did this art piece. This one right here. It's called Gota. It's called Drop. She is an artist. Her name is Maria Fernanda Salinas. And she created this concept of this Gota. It's interesting, right? It sells for 39,000 Mexican pesos. That's like $2,000, $2,500, $2,500. This thing right here. Do I agree? Personally, no. I don't think it's that interesting to be like costing that much amount of money, to be honest. Does it sell? Yes, it sells. People buy this. What is this? It's a drop. It's like, I don't know if it's acrylic or wood or whatever, but she got famous by doing this. One thing that I can say though, and props to her, like complete props to her, she managed to find something that sells very well. Do you think she complains if someone calls her, oh, you're not an artist because that's like such a boring piece of art? No, of course not. Right? Because she's crying in her Lamborghini or whatever. Like, she's probably making bank out of selling these things right here. So that's the state of the world. Like, sometimes there's going to be products like this that are going to be selling for thousands of dollars, and people are going to be paying that amount of money. And we as artists, as traditional artists, might be like, oh, but that's not really what it's supposed to be. I don't agree or whatever. Well, it doesn't matter if you agree or not. She's selling them and she's famous for selling them, at least here in Mexico. And people are buying them. Like, people were buying these things for their cell phones. I don't know how like expensive these little things were for the cell phones, but she was doing this as well. And hey, again, props to her. Like, I'm not jealous or anything. I don't agree with the type of art because this is not the type of art that I want to do, but I'm okay with what I like to do. It's like, I understand that the type of art I'm going to be doing is going to be one type of art. It's going to have a specific type of value. If I want to make money, I might start pursuing this kind of stuff, right? But it's just weird. It's a weird situation. I'm going to show you another example, but this is a good example. This is another like Mexican painter. Her name is Monica Fernandez, and she's a more sort of like traditional, trained like artist. She's great. My wife loves her, and her stuff also very expensive. This to me, subjectively, has more value than the one that I showed you before. So if I had the money, if I could spend again like $2,000 on a piece of art, I would rather have one of these pieces of art than one of these pieces of art, right? But again, that's the subjective side of things. So it becomes very, very complicated when we talk about these topics, because it's the commercial against the artistic, the value, the subjective value against the objective technicalities of the thing. So it's complicated. It's definitely one of those things that we could debate this for a long time. There's like, you guys know this famous story, Picasso, right? Picasso was never famous when he was alive. He died like in a very sort of like sorry state, alone. I think he didn't really have a very sort of like successful life as a painter, and now everyone loves Picasso. No, not Picasso. Sorry, Van Gogh. I'm mixing things up. Picasso was actually quite famous, I think. But Van Gogh was like a no one when he was alive. Let's see. I think great art should impress both normies and experts. Something like the Sistine Chapel will always be considered an amazing artistic achievement by everyone. I mean, again, David, I agree. I personally like art that is what's the word, figurative in essence. Like you can tell what it is, right? But at the same time, I cannot get angry. We cannot get angry at anyone who's making a living doing like modern art. It is what it is. You can complain about it, but nothing's gonna change. So what you can do is either like try and do the same thing if you want to, or stick to what you want to do and understand that there's a different end goal for everyone, right? This is where we're not letting what others think about what you do impact you. That's going to be a very important part of the whole thing. What's your take on applicants having to take an art test for those that has no choice because they need the job? What should they do? When you're starting, I do think it's okay to have an artist. Like if it's your first couple of jobs after school, sure, because you don't have enough credits or reputation to speak for yourself. But once you've been doing this for like at least 3, 4, 5 years, you shouldn't need an artist, man. Unless you're going onto this like very big studios. Like I know Naughty Dog has a very like intense art test for anyone who wants to work on their projects. So, but yeah, unless you're doing that, I don't think you should need an artist. Your portfolio and your curriculum should be more than enough. Like I haven't done an art test in years, like literally years. I think the last art test I did was like in 2016 or something like that when I graduated. Most of movies from the people that did Coraline didn't win money with the movie. Yeah. That's again, it's the trade-off, right? Like what are you picking? Because we can't have everything. Do you want stability? Work on commercial stuff. Do you want credibility or to be like admired by everyone in our industry and be like, oh, this guy is super cool, and you're gonna have to work heavily on really like intense pieces. But the competition again, it's fierce. So. It's actually one of the very fun things. You as an artist, you're gonna have to figure out what you want. I cannot decide that for you. I can give you my insight. I can tell you what I chose, but I cannot pick for you. I've had some friends of mine whose dream was to work on big studios, and they did. And after a couple of years, they're like, "Oh man, I hate this. I thought I was gonna love it, and I hate it." And they switched to smaller studios. And I had the opposite. People who said, oh, I want to have my own studio and I want to be my own boss and I want to have my own projects. And then they did it for a couple of like months or years. They're like, nope, this is not for me. I'll rather work in the studio and just go home after the day and relax without having to worry about any of the pressures of owning a business. It's up to everyone. You pick your poison, as they say, right? You got to pick your poison. Because everyone's going to have a different journey in this life. And all of those journeys are perfectly valid. Don't let anyone tell you the opposite. But you need to figure it out. The sooner you figure it out, the better. Because you can focus. Troels says, hey Abe, I've been wanting to get into sculpting recently. I'm wondering what program I should start out with if I want to learn. Do you have any recommendations? Price point really doesn't matter. Nice. Glad to see that. Yeah, so it depends. If you want to do this professionally, Zbrush. Just jump straight into Zbrush. And as you guys know, we have the Oni course that we were just talking about, right? So this one right here. So I think this is a great way to start into Zbrush. Zbrush for character artists, it has a bunch of like things. People love it. So this is where I would start with Zbrush, right? If you don't want to, or if you just want to get like a general idea of how the whole 3D pipeline works and you want to get a little bit of sculpting as well, this one is really, really good because we go through all of the steps, right? We do modeling, sculpting, we do like a texturing, rendering, a little bit of everything. So this is a really good one that you might want to do. Have you ever thought of starting your own studio? I have my own studio, my friend. It's a very small studio. Right now, we just have 2 people working on it, like 3 people. my partner, and another artist. But we sometimes like scale up and scale down. It's just a very small studio, and we do museum stuff. Like I cannot show you right now, but we're working on a new experience for next year that's going to be space related. So yeah, it's a very small studio. We have like very few projects, to be honest, but that's my studio. It's called Hyperlab. Before that, I had another studio, which was called Critical Hit. We still carry the same logo. It was the same logo that we had back then. It's Critical Hit Studio and Academy. And for that one, we were working as like a little outsourced studio, and we were doing like some interesting things. Can I work with you? Yeah, we do VR stuff. No, we don't have any positions open yet, guys. But I've hired before. Like last year, we hired an animator that we needed for the project, and we had a great time working with him. He was really good. He did some dinosaur animations. Yeah, it's a small one. Again, because that's the path that I chose. I realized, hey, I want to work on this sort of like scope of projects because I enjoy those. Some people like to work with like big amounts of like big teams or big projects. To me, that never was appealing. Again, that's personal stuff. Let's see. It reminds me of some stories of indie game devs that eventually hate their own game because it takes too much out of them. Yeah, it's a tricky situation. I have another example of like there's so many examples of artists, right? Like songwriters, singers, performers who say, hey, I just want to work at this level and that's it. There's nothing wrong with that. But I don't know why society tends to tell us that, no, you need to be the very best of the very best. Otherwise, you failed. You're not worth it. It's like, nah, fuck that. If you can make an honest living, if you can support yourself and your family, if you can do things that you enjoy, and you can help others, I mean, come on. What else do you want? Right? 4 minutes for the next winner, my friends. 4 minutes. Now let's talk about. I want to talk about another important topic, because we're also going to touch on this on next week's video, but I think it's a good moment. We're at the end of the year, guys. 2026 is coming. Let's save. quick save. 2026 is coming, right? And a very common question is, what are going to be your resolutions? Or what are you going to be planning? We've talked about this before, like using, for instance, the SMART method to plan ahead and figure out exactly how to best focus on. So for me, I mentioned it. I'm gonna be working a little bit more on getting better at drawing and illustration. I really want to learn how to do that. It's gonna help my 2D skills as well. VFX is another one that has always escaped me, and I want to get a little bit better at that. We're gonna do courses. I want to do several courses next year for you guys. What are you guys gonna do? The giveaway, Destroya. So the giveaway, you can get any of the courses from our site, any of them. The hand-painted 3D character for games, Zbrush for iPad, Substance Painter. So if you're learning 3D and you need one of these courses to improve your skills, this is one of the things that you can win. And right now we are just 2 minutes away from knowing the third winner for today. 2 minutes away. Any Houdini for games? No, not Houdini, man. Not Houdini. I don't know Houdini. I need to learn. I want to see. I'm not sure if Embergen is a good thing, but I kind of want to learn it. I think it's like a good option instead of doing Houdini for like effects. Rarstorm says, Abraham, tengo 48 años. Es muy tarde para aprender este arte. Says, I'm 48 years old. It's a tricky question, my friend. I'm going to answer in English so that everyone can get the answer. But if you need a little bit more help, you can send me a DM on Discord as well. Here's the thing. It's never too late to learn any skill. You can learn any skill pretty much at any age, right? Now, your odds of becoming employable, right? Like working at a AAA studio or something like that, are definitely a little bit against you. Why? Because there's a 20-year-old guy who probably has twice or 3 times the time that you have to work on his craft, and he might accept a lower like a wage to get into it. But if you just want to do this for fun, if you want to do it as a hobby, if you want to do your own little like indie game or something, and eventually that like sort of just like becomes a big hit, yeah, definitely do it. Like definitely do it. There's absolutely nothing stopping you. Just be very realistic about what your goal is. If you tell me I'm 48 years old and my goal is to work as a Disney animator, I'm gonna tell you, hey, it's tough. It's definitely doable. It's gonna take a couple of years to get there. Like at least 2 or 3 years, to be honest, but it can be done. And just understand that there's going to be a lot of sacrifice involved, right? Congratulations to Senny, congratulations, my friend. You are the third winner here. You're the third winner of today's giveaway. We have 2 more giveaways to go. So don't leave, my friends. Don't leave. Make sure to join the Discord channel if you want to participate on the next ones. Someone was asking how to do that. Just join the Discord channel, and here on the events tab, there's going to be a little giveaway bot that's going to have a party popper. Right now, it's not there, but David is going to set it up real quick. And once you have that, you're going to be able to just click on that and win. I'm going to be contacting the winners after the stream is done. Okay, so that will be my answer there, my friend. Like, it is doable. Like, you can learn the skills. You can totally learn the skills. I'm gonna give you another example that's very common. Chess. I've mentioned I'm a huge fan of chess. A question everyone like makes when they're learning chess is, oh, can I become a grandmaster? And the answer is, if you are below the age of like 13, yes. If you're not below the age of 13, the odds of you becoming a grandmaster are increasingly low. Like, the older you get, the way more difficult it becomes for you to make or become a grandmaster. Why? Because of the time commitment and because of all of the information and things that you need to know about the thing. That doesn't mean that you cannot be a great chess player. Like, you can hit like amazing levels in chess and you can become like really good. Like, you can probably become like a national master, for instance, in your country, right? Like, that's a way more achievable like goal. But grandmaster after a certain point becomes impossible. Same thing for Olympics, right? Like, maybe you tell me right now, I'm 48 years old, I want to play professional soccer. That's not gonna happen, right? Like, we know that's not gonna happen. It's done. Like, it's done for me as well. Like, there's no way. I'm 33 years old. There's no way I'm gonna be able to become a professional soccer player, even if I started working 24 hours a day for that particular goal. Like, it's gone. Like, that door is closed. But that doesn't mean that that was the only door. There's so many other things that you can do. I could become a really good soccer player. I could start my own like local soccer league or whatever. I could become a soccer like coach. I don't know. Like, there's so many things that you can do. So just keep that in mind. You can learn this craft at any age, my friend. You can become a 3D artist, an amazing 3D artist, and at any age. But again, being an amazing 3D artist is not the same as being a 3D artist that's working on the industry. There's 2 different goals. There's 2 different paths to this. Crossplat says, I just want to say that I'm thankful for channels like yours. 3D stuff is the main help for myself in dealing with my shameful that addiction. So thank you all and have the best holidays. I'm glad that this is helping you, my friend. I know that any type of like addiction can be complicated, so I completely understand you, and I'm grateful that this is helping you. I hope that that's not a joke and that you're actually like being honest about that. And if you are, I commend your honesty. And I'm glad that the content and 3D is a good way to help you in that journey. I'm 28 and I want to make it in the video game industry. Yeah, that's again, like, age is not it's not gonna be something that's gonna make or break your success chances at working at a studio. What is gonna do that is gonna be your skill and how much time you can commit and stuff like that. Okay. And again, like, I've seen, like, I remember there was this initiative a couple of years ago where there's been people who are, like, quite old in terms of age, and they get into, like, streaming. Like, there was a gamer grandma that unfortunately passed away a couple of, like, I think days or weeks ago. And she was very famous in the streaming community because she loved gaming, right? So yeah, again, there's no age for this kind of stuff. Just understand that there are other types of limitations. Like, it's not as easy, again, for someone who's in college learning 3D to get into 3D compared to someone who has a family of, like, 3 kids and they need to support a family. Like, it's not easy to make that jump, right? Yeah, when I was in school, there was a guy who was, like, 45, and he was really good. He became an animator, and I think he worked at Disney for a while. There was another sir. He was like 65 years old. He was like retired. He was like, yeah, I've always wanted to learn how like movies and video games are made. So I'm here learning. He's like, oh, that's awesome. And he knew that. He was like, I know that I might not be able to get a job in the industry or anything, but I just want to know how to do it. Like, that's very commendable as well, I would say. Max Wilson says, yeah, I was 34 when I switched to 3D from carpentry. I couldn't take being outside anymore, so I work from home making 3D art. Dude, that's very funny, because one of my sort of like plans when I get older is like, oh, maybe when I'm like 50 or 55 or 60, I'll switch to carpentry. I really want to learn that craft as well, which is a different kind of craft. So that's the funny thing about like life in general. Like, you never know what's gonna happen. Like freaking Forrest Gump stuff, right? Like it's literally a box of chocolates. And like right now, I'm a 3D artist, and I love being a 3D artist. I love like teaching about the 3D world. I love sharing these moments with you guys. I don't know what's gonna happen in 10 years. I don't know what's gonna happen in 20 years. I could be gone, right? Like, we only know what's happening right now. So what you need to do is you need to make the best out of whatever it is you're doing right now. Of course, have a plan for the future. Your resolutions for New Year. Make sure that you have a plan or a general idea of where you want to go. Like, having a goal is very, very, very important. But understand that things can change. Understand that that your idea of happiness can change as well. Let's see. You went to 3D school? I thought it was medical school. No, I went 1 year of medical school. I did 1 year of medical school, and then I switched to 3D. Carpentry and metalworking are really awesome. Yeah, they sound like very fun like traits as well. I know they can be very tiring too. I know, I understand that. That's why I mentioned everything. Every job is a job at the end of the day. Takes patience, of course. Let's see. I'm working 40 hours weekly on the portfolio, but due to bad choices and directions, I'm taking more time than expected. Evaluate, reassess, and execute. That's a very common sort of like approach. Like, if I'm gonna give you one of the best advices that was given to me. If right now you're not happy with where you are in any sort of like area of your life, could be your health, could be your mental health, could be your art, could be your relationships, could be your family. If right now you're not in the spot that you want to be, you need to sit down and think about why it is that you don't like where you are. And then come up with a plan, like an actual actionable plan, something that you can follow, not like this imaginary thing of, oh, I'm fat and tomorrow I'm gonna like just go and run a marathon to get fit. That's not gonna work, right? So you need to start taking action, like measurable things to get you to your goal. Let's talk about art. Maybe you don't like where your art is. You want to be a character artist and you're not happy. Okay, let's come up with a plan. What is the plan going to be? Let me try doing one character per week. Even if it's not finished, I just want to sculpt the basic anatomy. Let me learn about this specific part of the body. Let me take a course. Like, what is it that you're going to do? And put yourself to the test by measuring that specific action that you're going to be taking. Because if you don't measure stuff, you're not really doing anything. You need to be like constantly checking on how well you are doing in a specific decision that you're taking. And if after a while of doing those decisions, it's still not working, we need to reevaluate those decisions. Like, maybe that path that you thought was going to be the path that was going to help you, it's not helping you. You need to reevaluate. Because there's this very famous quote that says, if you keep doing the same thing and expecting different results, you're math. Like, that's not going to work. If something that you're doing is not working right now, and you've been doing them for a while now, you need to reevaluate the strategy. It doesn't mean that the goal that you have is wrong. It just means that the approach that you have might be the wrong one, and you need to reevaluate that specific approach to get you into a position where success is more easy to achieve, okay? Now, even after you do that, sometimes success is not there. That's not you failing. That's just life. Another very famous quote, right? I think by Picard or something. So yeah, it's very, very important that you understand that we always need to be evaluating. Does this work? This doesn't work? Is it working? Is it not working? Is it working for me? Is it not working for me? If it's not working for you, you need to change. If you cannot change, then you might need to change the goal. But there's always things that you can move around and measure. Trying to do the same thing over and over and over again is not going to get you anywhere. And you're probably in that cycle. Not talking about like you specifically. I'm talking about someone watching right now. If you're in that cycle where you feel like you're not moving forward, you probably need to take one step back and really analyze, is this the right path for me right now? Am I following the right strategy? Because people might be telling me this is what you need to do, but if it's not working for you, you might need to, like, again, take a break or find something that's going to allow you to then break through that barrier and get to the next stage. It's okay sometimes to step back, to fall back, to completely change directions, so that you can finally go back or get back to the original goal that you have. It's totally normal, and sometimes that's gonna be even more fulfilling than trying to just bash your head against the wall and not being able to cross that gap. So hopefully that helps, my friends. I know it's a little bit of a pep talk there, but it's important. It's important that to understand that that those variations will happen in everyone's journey. Let's see. I'll reply in English for your audience. I want to create figures and dioramas for 3D printing for me and my son, and if possible, monetize a second income. Totally doable. If that's your goal, my friend, totally doable. Totally doable. Jose Leo says, I took the course that you have for 3D printing to make my own figures. Today, I'm thinking about just doing that. Thank you for your courses. Thank you, my friend. Thank you for your support. I'm glad that it helped you in your journey. That's my main goal. When I started this project, that's what I want. It's hey, if I can share the stuff that I love and know about, and it can help someone else in their journey, that's all I'm asking for. I had such an amazing year this year as well. I know we didn't release too many courses. We just had 2 courses this year, the Marmoset course and the hand-painted course. But there was so much content that we released on shorts and videos and live streams. And I had so many students. This year, I think it's the year that I've had the most students in terms of mentorships. Both private mentorships and with the think tank, where I'm a mentor. And seeing the growth of my students is so fulfilling. Feels so good to see how they learn, how they improve, how they grow as artists. It's such a nice experience, to be honest. Life Remeasure. That's a great title. If we ever do a podcast, I'm gonna use that title, man. Life Remeasure. Inspirational podcast for 3D artists. Sounds like an interesting take. I think that's it. We can keep polishing, but I was thinking about doing a hand-painted pass with this character. And usually for hand-painted, you don't need as much detail. Let's clean the mustache a little bit. I'm gonna give it a couple of subdivisions here. Hermie says, I love the hand-painted course. I learned UVs, retopology, and I'm learning hand-painting because of it. I'm totally newbie and it's awesome. It's really cool, right? Yeah, it's one of my favorite courses. I've enjoyed doing it so much. Huge thanks to, of course, to Labros, who was the concept artist who allowed us to use the undead pirate concept for the course. If you are not following that guy, go and follow him on ArtStations. He's got some super cool things. He's a great dude. Yeah, it's one of my favorite courses. Yes, Wixa! Santa is here! I'm back from, delivering gifts all over the world. Now we're doing a little bit of sculpting. What is your take on using AI in Divinity? No, anime. We already talked about AI today. I'm not gonna talk again about AI. Long story short, it's a tool. It's gonna be there. We cannot get it away. As long as there's artists involved, that's fine. It's part of the process now. Don't what's the word? Don't worry too much about it, would be my advice. How much does a normal modeler make a month? It depends. And that's a question that you can ask ChatGPT or something. So if you say average income 3D artist in the US, the United States, and you're gonna get an answer. It says between 70,000 and 85,000 annually. You're like, oh my god, that's a lot of money. That's great. Yeah, but then you go and say, I don't know, Singapore, right? It's gonna be that's only 4,000 to 8,000. Actually, that's actually I'm not sure if that's the specific one. But for instance, here in Mexico, it tends to be very low. Here in Mexico, let's say, I'll show you. Mexico. Nah. This is okay. No, don't listen to AI. This is completely fake. You're probably gonna go here to Glassdoor. There you go. This is a lot more manageable. So this is the average income that the 3D artist makes here in Mexico. Yeah, ChatGPT was hallucinating completely elucidating that's like way too much. So this is the base like a salary for 3D artists here in Mexico, which if you change that to dollars, it's like $800 per month. You're like, what? $800? That's way too little. Well, that's the reality here in Mexico. If you're working for international clients, or if you're using like other types of like freelancing stuff, then of course this can vary. But this is the average here in Mexico, and you can use Glassdoor again to change this into pretty much any region. So if I say average, like let's go Singapore, just as a quick example. There you go. So this is the average in Singapore, 3K per month. I'm guessing it's dollars, which is not that bad, right? There you go. There's Ubisoft. So the best way you can check is check this kind of sites and just like review the average income. If after you see that you're like, oh, that's way too little, I don't want to be making that, you probably want to be picking a different career. Is it worth to go overseas to learn 3D VFX or learn 3D by yourself? I think if you can afford it, traveling and meeting more people, right? Like increasing your network, it's always very valuable. However, if you cannot afford it, or if that decision is gonna take you into depth, I would recommend not doing it, because it might take a long time to get that back, and that could affect you like for your future. So I would not recommend anyone taking like big amount of depths to get into the 3D world. Learn as much as you can from online, and then if you need to specialize, you can like take a couple of classes at like some of the big schools out there, but most of the information you can find online. Troils has a good question. I missed that question. Where is the question? If you were to hire someone based on their portfolio, what kind of pieces would you pay more attention to, and which one would you care less about? Oh, that's a great question. I mean, we've had some great portfolios throughout the year, and I normally mention what kind of stuff I look for, right? So here, let's go back, for instance, to November. So for instance, I remember this one, Gustavo Maciel. When I take a look at a portfolio like this, the pieces that interest me the most are the pieces that are either telling a story or that are very well executed at a technical level, right? So this is a piece that we talked about before. Even though it's a simple piece, I really like it because it does look like a little shot from a short or something. And the technical execution of this thing is really good. Like, there's of course things that can be improved, but I really like it. I think he did a really nice job on this little piece right here. And something like this, for instance, has a really nice, again, like technical execution. The textures, the rendering, everything looks very clean. So if I was looking for someone who could help me with like product renderings or things like that, so I'm a little bit more commercially oriented, this is something that I would look for. So that's the kind of stuff that you want to see in portfolios. You got to be very careful, and we've mentioned this before with portfolios like this one right here. Again, not trying to be mean or anything, but when we see a lot of exercises or unfinished pieces, this is something that doesn't help me as much. And I remember we mentioned this to Nitish Kumar. Hopefully, again, if you're here, my friend, you don't take this the wrong way. I'm not saying that your portfolio is bad, because you have a couple of cool pieces. I remember talking about this one right here when we talked about the emissive. You did a good job with all of the accessories. It's just that usually this kind of like écorché and things, they're not really as impressive, because anyone who's been learning this kind of stuff has done this before. So you're not gonna really be impressing anyone by showing that kind of elements. So finished pieces and pieces where I can picture how they can be part of a product, a movie, a short, a game, like something that I can visualize being part of, again, something that can be sold. That's an important part of the whole like process. Let's see, did I miss anything else? I don't think so, right? Proba Art says, hi Abe, aside from 3D modeling, are you interested in 2D too? Yes. Well, not editing, not photo editing, but I do like doing like again, like drawing, painting, that kind of stuff. I really enjoy it. What else do we do with this guy? Kind of want to start like texturing a little bit, but I don't know. We have a better material. It's a very bad material. It's a very pink material. Oh, we're missing the little white thing right there. Let's close some of this. There we go. It's a pen. Little sphere. This thing's gonna be right here. And of course with like the proper gravity in me. What are your favorite 2D styles? Like, what influenced you the most? This kind of stuff. Like, this kind of stuff is like stylized stuff. You know, World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft is what got me into making 3D. Like, when I saw the Lich King video, the Lich King cinematic, back in, what was it, 2007 or something like that, 2008, I was like, I want to know how that's done. I want to do that. like that cinematic was, like, I watched it so many freaking times. I have the art book and everything. I have an Arthas statue back here. So, yeah, like, World of Warcraft cinematics were the things that inspired me the most, because I was, like, completely, like, just, like, surprised and impressed by what you could do with storytelling in such a short amount of time. Eventually, yeah, League of Legends was a big thing. Like, when I learned about, like, the hand-painted style, like, that's a style that I've always, like, really liked. Any tips on sculpting flames or fire? Oh my god, that's a tricky one. I would say go really stylized, to be honest. There's this guy that I really admire. His name is, well, he's got this Patreon where he does, like, miniatures for D&D, Artisan Guild. And the way he approaches magic is really interesting. You can see he does this very, like, stylized blocky elements. This, of course, are for 3D like printing, right? But I really like it. I really like how he does, like, the spells and everything. For 2 reasons. First of all, it's very easy to print. Like, look at that fire right there. It's very easy to print, and it's very graphical, right? So you can definitely see it very clearly when you're playing with it. So I would recommend doing it like that, like trying to go very graphical with your elements. And as you can see, they're just like blocky meshes. You could start with like a cube and extrude it around. You can use like tube curves. You can see the fire there on the base. So I would recommend that kind of approach for fire. What's up? Hi, Hyacinth. How are you, my friend? Let's take a look. How long do we have until the next giveaway? It's almost the last giveaway, my friends. 12 more minutes. Okay. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out what else to do. Let me turn off the beer just a second. Oh, yeah. I was worried that the muscles were not, like, attaching properly, but they are definitely in the right place. So that's good. What is the minimum time required to create a good portfolio piece? My question sounds a bit rhetorical. When we were in school, or when I was in school, we were given 3 weeks per portfolio piece. Some people took a little bit more, like they would take like 6 weeks. I would say like the minimum amount is like 1 month, like 4 weeks of full work, right? Like you need to do 40 hours every week, so that's 160 hours in total. That should be good for a nice portfolio piece. And then, but you can take like way longer. There was this very famous one. You probably saw it. It was like this steampunk girl, pink hair. Great render, great character, and the artist did an interview, I think with J Hill and everything, and she mentioned that it took her like 1 year to do the full piece. 1 year, 1 freaking year. That's why I'm telling you guys. A lot of you guys don't have the patience for that, and sometimes great stuff requires a lot of time. A lot of time. Yeah, right. Without the beard, he looks like Braum. Braum was my favorite character when playing, well, one of my favorite characters when playing League of Legends. I always play support because my brother played ADC, so we were a duo. Yeah, he definitely looks like Braum. It's like a very common like archetype, right? Like the brawler, like the big brawler guy. $18 months. 18 months. So 1.5 years. And she did a great job. I get stressed doing eyes, especially eyelids. Why? Eyelids are easy. Well, kind of easy. One of the important things about the eyelids is making sure that they have the roundness going around the eye. That's an important feature. And that little shelf, like a little like heart angle right there, where the eyelids are like folds down or back, that's an important part. Imagine getting body like that. I actually like that's one of my personal what's the word? Lot of resolutions for next year. I want to get a lot more fit. I like definitely not like this. Definitely not like this, but hopefully I will be getting more fit this next year. I already got myself a pair of dumbbells and everything to start like exercising and everything. So let's see how that goes. Like shirtless Abe, like just like all buffed. I don't think I would do it. I'm not that kind of. I'm not that kind of. Yeah. No. I'm not gonna be doing like running or anything. Just weightlifting, diet, a little bit of cardio. I have a picture. You guys want to see a picture of me when I was really fit? Let me see if I can find it. My wife always makes fun of me because she's like, I met you when you were very fit, and then what happened? Let me see if I can find it. It's on my Facebook. Probably have seen it before. Let me take a look. Marriage had, yeah, exactly. Marriage happened. Yeah, this is probably it. Oh, I look so different. Give me 1 second. Not shirtless, don't worry. But this was my thinnest point. Yeah. Now you get married, you start what's the word? Yeah, you start eating, you get a little bit more lazy, you get relaxed. Here. It's pure. So this was Fit Ape. Here. This was, wow, 8 years ago? Probably? Like 8 years ago? Yeah, you get comfortable, right? So I was 105 kilograms there. That was my lowest point. A lot of muscle. Not super like again like ripped or anything. Yeah. This is what made my wife fell in love with me. That and my awesome personality, of course. But yeah. So now I need to get back there. Like the goal for this year is to get as close as possible to this one. Yeah, it definitely looks very baby, right? Like baby face. Let's see how that does. Let's see how we do this year and how close we can get there. I am 180 centimeters. 179, 78, so 180 centimeters. What's it, like 6 foot? 179 centimeters in feet. 5.8 for those who are wondering about the fit system. So yeah. So I'm relatively tall. Not super tall, but you know. Nah, you're way taller, man. 187 centimeters. That's that's way taller, man. Way taller. My brother, he's a little bit taller than me. He's like a 185, I think. Yeah, I'm 180. 180, 179. Depends. Sometimes I feel like I'm a little bit taller. Sometimes it feels like I'm a little bit shorter. You know, but around there. You're on 173. Oh, there you go. Yeah. I don't think I'm that tall. My wife, she's very short. I'll show you a picture of her eventually, once she feels comfortable. But she's very short. She's 150. 150 centimeters. So our height difference is quite funny. I was 187 with 140 as my most, but gone down to 120. Nice. 5 minutes until the next winner. What else do we add? I don't want to add tattoos, man. Are we missing something? Like eyebrows? Or eyelashes? Do I add eyelashes? I think we can clean the eye. Let's clean the eye a little bit. Go to the eye. Go to the paintbrush. I mean, one thing that we can very easily do here is just change to the toy plastic. The toy plastic is a very nice material. We just need to set to this to MRGB and say color, fill object. That way, the eyes are going to be that toy plastic material, as you can see right there. And then we can go to our paintbrush again. There we go. Let's go this like reddish color. Paint the eye. It's like side eye effect. That feels a little bit big. Feels a little bit better. And then let's go a little bit darker. Do the black area right there. There you go. Much better. Ardian Sony, what's up, my friend? You don't have to push yourself to lose weight. You look good now, still, unless for health. Yeah, no, it's for health reasons. I do want to get a little bit more healthy because my family has unfortunately a history of health related issues, and I don't want to get there. So in order to do that, of course, I need to lose weight. Like they tell me that my healthy weight is around 100 kilograms as long as I push it to like higher muscle mass and stuff. So hopefully I can get there. I'm at like 115 right now, so I need to lose like 15 kilograms. New Warder says, hey Abraham, I mainly do hard surface and recently discovered the following workflow. Low poly in Blender, high poly in ZBrush, Dynamesh. What do you think of it? Yeah, that's perfectly fine. You're still going to have to read topology later on, but it's perfectly fine. You do the block out inside of like Blender, and then you switch to ZBrush for the cleanup, right? Red Iris looks kind of evil. He's kind of, I mean, he's not mad, but he's definitely get like a powerful character now. Let's see. Merry Christmas, man, by Molky. Thanks for all the content this year. Absolutely love watching your stuff, and it's really helped teach me stuff that I couldn't find anywhere else. You are welcome, my friend. I'm really happy that this has been helpful to you. Oh my god. 55, man? That's very thin, Sarn. Fourth giveaway, guys. We got 2 more minutes for this fourth giveaway. Make sure to jump into the Discord and participate before it's done. And then we're going to go for the last giveaway of today. Last giveaway of today. And the next stream, for those wondering, the next stream is going to be next year. Next year sounds very weird to say that, but it's just next week. So next week on the 2nd of January, we're going to have our first live stream of the year with more 3D content, of course. So make sure to subscribe. If you're here on YouTube, make sure to subscribe. It really helps the channel. I think if we are lucky and we get a lot of support this year, by the end of next year, we might hit 100K. We might hit 100K subscribers. If my calculations are right, we're going to be very, very close there. But the only way we're going to get there, guys, is, of course, with your help. We're going to be one of the few 3D channels out there with 1K subscribers. This is a very niche entertainment thing, right? So not a lot of people watch this in YouTube, but you guys are here. What is my next course? Oh, it's a fun one. I can tell you that. It's a fun one. You're gonna like it. You are going to like it. We've been working on that, by the way. Like, don't think that I haven't been doing anything. Like, chapter 1 on that one is done, right, Alan? I think we finished like editing and recording chapter 1, and I've been preparing a lot of things that we need for chapter 2, 3, 4, and 2, 3, and 4. 2, 3, and 4. Yes. We're going to have 4 chapters for this new course. Arian Sonny says, I've been doing vehicles in my current job for almost 2.5 years. Want to get into characters now. What steps should I take and how to keep my portfolio separate for character vehicles? You can create, like I know in ArtStation, you can create like sections, like segments. So you could probably just keep it separate there. And learning anatomy is probably the first one. Like learning anatomy and organic sculpt. If you know ZBrush, it should be fairly simple to jump there, Arian. I recommend the Oni course, this one right here, which will teach you how to make this character right here. Everything that you see here, we cover on the course. The bandages, the pants, the weapons, like everything. It's there. And it's a great way to get into ZBrush. So that one, I think it's a good starting point. Giveaway in 10 seconds, and congratulations to Robner CGI. Robner, congratulations, my friend. I'm not sure if you're here in YouTube or if you're in Twitch, but congratulations. You are the 4th winner for today for our 4th giveaway. Congratulations. Again, I will be contacting you after the stream ends so that you can tell me which course you want, and I'll get it into your library. Congratulations, my friend. And we're going to go now for the final giveaway. David's gonna be setting it up. We're gonna prepare that one, and after that, that's it, guys. We finished this year. We finished this stream. We're gonna have more content here on the channel, you know, a couple more shorts, and there's a little special video that I want to have you, or I want to give you for next Wednesday. So again, make sure to subscribe so that you can see it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. We're gonna be almost over. I would really love to see a tutorial on our course on making buildings and our modular items. We did the trim sheet video a couple of weeks ago. Well, months ago. We did a little series. Not sure if you saw it, Molky. If you haven't seen it, I strongly recommend you go and check it out, because that's like a beginning stage of the modular approach that we need. See the dude that went to grocery store while recording his right hand instead of pushing it? What? Will it create a confusion for recruiters that I'm trying to fit into every role? No. Especially after you've been doing it for a while. Like after you've been, in this case, you've been doing like cars and hard surface stuff for a while. Like including something else, it's not a problem. You do need to have several pieces as a character artist before you can start applying, I would say, because if you apply as a character into a character artist position and you only have one character and you have like 10 cars, people are definitely going to be like, what the hell, right? But if you have like 5 characters and you also have cars, it's like, oh, this guy knows how to do characters and he knows how to do like cars. So that's great. That makes you more valuable because you have more skills. And if you can combine both, like if you do a character with a lot of like hard surface stuff, that could be a really good way to do it. Okay, I want to add just a little bit of color to this character because he feels very pale. So I'm just going to go to my paintbrush. Where is it? Paintbrush. Let's just add a little bit of life to him. So what I like to do is change this to color spray and alpha to alpha 27, something like that. There you go. Now we can add a little bit of color. Let's saturate that a little bit more. I know. People are like, oh, that's way too saturated. There's too much color. Yes, I know. It's on purpose. This is just the base. Thank you so much, my friend Robner, for the like what is it, like the donation here on YouTube, and congratulations. I'll be contacting you soon for your prize. Icy Film says, hello teacher, long time no see. I used to learn a lot from your videos, dreaming to be a modeler like you, but a lot of things happened in my life and it seems modeling is not my way of living. So I had to quit modeling, but I still thank you so much for teaching a lot of things so kindly. You are welcome, my friend. And as I said earlier today, there's so many journeys in this life, my friend. If this didn't work for you, hey, that's fine. Like you're gonna find something else that's gonna make you as happy, if not more happy than this, and you can still pursue this as a hobby if you want. Perfectly valid. Merry Christmas, Rodolfo. Merry Christmas, my friend. Thank you. See you soon. John has a question, says, hey Ava, I have a question. I'm texturing and the textures are good in Substance, but in Marmoset they get blurry, especially with soft shadow. Any tips about this? Yes. So when you're inside of Substance, always add a little bit of a sharpened filter. Here, let me show you. Let's see, file, send. So this is a very important part, guys, about rendering. Like when you are preparing your render, and we talked about this on the last stream, it's very important that you always play a little bit with post-production. Every single film, every single game, every single thing you see online has a little bit of post-production. So in this case, you can see that this is the main camera. And it looks fine, right? It looks interesting, it looks okay. But if we jump to the camera 1, this is where I made the real sort of like deal. So let me go here to camera 1, there you go. So this is the real setup that I wanted to have for my main camera. And if I go to the main camera, you're going to see that I did a couple of things. First of all, I changed the tone mapping. By default, it's set to AGX. And AGX, as you can see, it's very, I don't want to say flat, but it's not as contrasty or as crunchy. And metals, they really benefit from contrasty looks. So I changed this to ACES. And then I play a little bit with the elements here with a little bit of exposure and things to make sure that it was a lot more visible, right? Then sharpen. Without the sharpen, things tend to look very sort of like blurry. You don't want to over sharpen. Like if you over sharpen, things look way too intense. But just adding a little bit of sharpen can bring back that sort of like intensity to the whole thing. I added, of course, in this case, a little bit of vignette to give a little bit more sort of like depth to the thing. And I don't remember if I added grain. I think I added just a little bit of like a grain or dirt or something. But it's mainly this, the tone mapping. So you can see the big difference between the main camera right here, right? Which again doesn't look bad, but it doesn't look great either. It looks very sort of like flat. And if we change to the actual like a camera here, just a couple of those changes in the contrast can really help the whole thing. I am using ray tracing, so this is how it looks without ray tracing, which again is not that bad. Ray tracing is going to give me a little bit more of a realistic shadow. Metals should look pretty much the same, but yeah, it's a little bit of that sort of like extra crunchiness that I'm adding to the final render here. Like that's one of the things that we're going to be doing. Will there be a new challenge in 2016? Yes, we're going to have challenges. We just need to start reaching out to our collaborators and to all of the sponsors. Hopefully, we're going to be able to do, as David mentions there, 2. One on the first half of the year and the other one on the second half of the year. But we still need to figure out the themes, the sponsors, the prices, everything. But yeah, make sure you're subscribed and everything so you get all of that information as soon as it happens. Okay, so let's go back here to Santa. As you can see, the red already helps quite a bit to sort of like make him look a little bit more alive. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with yellows. Yellows is something you're going to find on like bone and cartilage parts of the character. I'm going to add a little bit of yellow here to like break up the uniformity that we're getting from the red colors. Then I'm going to grab a little bit of a blue color, purple color. That's going to go into the crevices. In this case, a little bit of that, a little bit of that. A little bit of that. He looks now a little bit sick. Let's grab a little bit more red again. Throwing that in. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab the skin color again. And very, very softly, I'm going to start sort of like blending the whole thing. Right? So like bringing back the original skin tone without drowning all of the color that we just added. Yeah, exactly. The clown technique. A little bit of this. And then I'm going to bring back a little bit of red. And again, it's soft. It's soft. Painting, it's about subtlety. Don't want to overwhelm things too much. Want to have a sort of like a nice balance. And it's a little bit of blending here and there, right? Like finding, for instance, here I'm going to go with like a darker tone. And add a little bit of shadow. Kind of like if we were using makeup or something. Add a little bit of shadow in certain areas. Gonna go a little bit lighter with yellows. It's a little bit smaller. Maybe a little bit lighter. There we go. And this is just a concept, right? Like this is of course not gonna go in my portfolio. I would need to work on this for a long time. Well, not a long time, but a little bit longer to really push it into portfolio territory. Yeah, there you go. See how that little like a change in color really helps. Gonna grab this, gonna change my RGB intensity to something like 5%. I'm just gonna do color fill object a couple times, but like fill it in back with the color. That's just gonna give me, you know, a little bit of an extra effect right there. 5th giveaway is ready, my friends. This is the last giveaway that we're going to have for today, and this is going to be the end of the live stream as soon as we finish this in 13 minutes. So make sure to jump quickly into this one right here. This is just the 12 minutes. There you go. The last giveaway here for our Christmas special. Did you guys like the Christmas special? Not bad, right? Like we were able to get like a nice looking character here in a couple of things. How to get a good clay render in Marmoset? Why not do it with the Santa? Let's do it with Santa. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say geometry. And I'm going to say subtool. Merge visible. So this is going to merge everything into a single subtool. There you go. And 3 million points. I'm going to show you how. This is one thing I love about what's the word? Marmoset. The fact that it can actually handle like a lot of polygons without any issues. So I'm going to export this exactly as it is. Like 3 million points. Which is going to be like 7 million polygons or something like that. And Marmoset's not going to even have a hiccup. Let's see. What components do you use? So currently I have a 5080 for GPU. I have 64 gigabytes of DDR5 RAM. The CL is like 32 and it's at 6000 like hertz or whatever. I have a 9950X 3D. and a bunch of stripes for information, like a bunch, like a stupid amount, like 4 or 5 or something. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's a high-end PC. I'm not gonna deny it, but it's not like the highest end PC. Like I have some people who are using they're using like a Threadrippers and 128 or 256 like gigabytes of RAM. Like it's a beast PC. I'm not gonna deny it. It's a really good one. I can play pretty much any game at the highest resolution, 4K and everything. But I normally play at 2K. Let's see. I have another question. Recently, I got a new laptop and the screen is way more contrasty than my older setup. So I'm afraid about the final result that people will receive. Any tip? Yes. So one thing that I always recommend is send your renders to your WhatsApp or to your like phone or whatever. And that's a good way to check how people are going to be actually seeing your stuff. Because phones usually have a more sort of like traditional screen or like generic screen. So yeah, just check it in different like screens. That's the best advice. Okay, so here's how I would do a clay render inside of Marmoset. Very simple. We actually cover this. I think it's on the free chapter for the Marmoset course as well, in case you guys want to check it out. But again, it's relatively simple. Let's bring in Santa. There we go. So there's our Santa right there. Very basic material. By the way, quick little tip. If you have vertex color, like we did with polypaint, you can change the albedo to vertex color. And you're going to see your vertex color right here. So all of the polypaint that we did is right here if you just change the albedo to vertex color. So you can do quick polypaint renders very quickly. So I'm just going to keep this to albedo. And clay is very interesting. I usually like to go with a warm clay tone. So I'm going to go with something like this. A little bit saturated, not super saturated, you know, so a little bit of this so like yellowish, orangish tone, depending on the kind of color that you want. High roughness. I do like to keep my roughness relatively high so that we get this sort of like smooth, silky effect to the whole thing. This is a good way right here to get a nice result. And then it's all about the light, right? So what I like to do is I take my light all the way down or very, very low, and I start lighting my scene. Easiest thing to do is use the 3-point light setup. So I'm going to start with a spotlight right here. Right, this is a main spotlight that's going to be hitting most of the forms of the character. Change the diameter a little bit. We talked about this in a recent short, so that you can soften the shadows a little bit, so we get a little bit of a blur on the shadows. You can still have strong shadows, just like blur them a little bit. There you go. Now, if you want, you can change this thing around, right? Like you can move this around and get a little bit more light. Usually, I like to go for the Rembrandt look, where you get like this little triangle on the other side of the face. That's again a good way to get that effect. Play with the brightness. People tend to go a little bit too low on the brightness, and I do like to play with temperature. So I'm going to turn on temperature and play with like the warmness of the light so it doesn't look as fake. So something like this, for instance. Then I incorporate my secondary light, so I bring a little bit of the brightness back in, and I make sure that this one is hitting specifically the dark shadows over here, so that we don't get that like super intense like contrast right there. I'm gonna open the spotlight, so I'm gonna open the spot angle, so we get a little bit of a softer shadow. And finally, we go here to the back part of the character. We add another light, we do another spotlight, and that's gonna be my rim light right there. Right, so we just increase that. We can also increase the spot angle so it hits all the parts of the character. That's it. That's pretty much it. Now, the secret here is going to be two things. First of all, we're going to turn on ray tracing. So ray tracing is going to give us a little bit of a softer effect, as you can see right there. And one thing I like to do is you can actually change the diffusion or the transmission to subsurface scattering. And if you turn on subsurface scattering, what's going to happen is you're going to get that skin waxy look to the whole thing. Of course, this is a little bit too much, so I'm going to bring the scatter depth down. So what I want to have is a little bit of that redness on the thin areas of the character. So as you can see, we get a little bit of that like overlap on some parts, which looks quite nice. The next thing that we need to do is we need to create a camera. So I'm going to create a new camera. You can see that we're now inside of camera 1. I'm going to change the focal length. The focal length tends to be very low for these characters at first. So I'm going to change this to something like a 55. 55 is good for portraits. And I'm going to turn on save frame. So save frame is what's going to be rendered. So if we want to render, let's say, this part of Santa, this is what we're going to be seeing right here, like that. And as we mentioned before, the next stuff is just going to the camera itself and play with things like changing this to aces, maybe increasing the exposure a little bit, playing a little bit with the highlights, with the midtones, maybe bringing the saturation down a little bit, right? So this is all post-production. So we can increase a little bit of the contrast, the clarity, can change the angle of the character, something like this instead. Actually, kind of like this one. I want to see a little bit of the rim light, of course. A little bit of sharpen, that's going to help, of course. Vignette always helps. A lot of softness, soft strength. That's it. Like this is very crunchy, right? Like if you don't like the crunchy effect, you want to keep it a little bit more flat. AGX is again, it's perfectly fine. But I usually like this one. Maybe just bring the contrast down, a little bit less saturation. And I'm gonna jump back to camera 1, to main camera 1. I'm gonna grab my rim light here. I'm gonna move it so that it's a little bit more to the side, like this. That way, when we see it from camera 1, we see a little bit more of the rim light there. Maybe it's a little bit too far forward. So it's all about like artistic decisions at this point to showcase your character in the best possible way. One more thing that you can do, and it helps. I'm not sure how much it's gonna help here, but we can go to the camera and we can change the focus. So we can turn on ray trace like focal length. Everything gets blurry, right? And then we can focus the distance. I'm just gonna click on the character, and you can see that we get a little bit of like the depth of field. This is way too much, of course. So I'm gonna reduce the ray tracing effect here, or the focal length. So I'm gonna push it up. As you can see, we're gonna get a little bit of blur, especially here on the arm and a little bit on the hat, but not too much on the character, right? Do you use child lights of the HDR? No, I don't usually like using child lights, to be honest. But what I do like doing is changing this one right here. So for instance, if we go for Alley Foggy, this one's going to give us a different effect, right? If we go for Alley Graffiti, we're going to have a different effect right there as well. And you can find a light that helps you with the general sort of like effect or view that you want. How do you deal with the Shadow Terminator artifacts? I get them in the Morrison only because the character in Substance has no artifacts at all. I'm not getting any artifact right here, man. I don't see any artifacts. I'm not sure if you're talking about like sometimes when you're doing raster stuff, you might get some like weird shadows, but I'm not seeing anything right now. What's the main difference between rendering in Marmoset Toolbar than in Blender? I just find it easier to do it in Marmoset, to be honest. It's a lot faster. It's quite a bit faster. It's quite a bit more what's the word? I find it to be a little bit more. Oh man, English is failing me today. I find that it's a little bit more approachable. Like you don't have to learn or deal with a lot of things to get it to work and to get like a nice result. And you can see how much it helps, right? Like it doesn't look bad here inside of like Zbrush. Like showing this or like clay render here, it's fine. It looks okay. It looks just like a screenshot. Intuitive. There you go. Thank you, Tenshibudo. It's more intuitive. So this is fine to again show to a client. It's like, hey, this is how it's looking. But if you show this thing right here, it gives them a way better idea of how it's gonna look as a final product, rather than just like the screenshot from Zbrush. And as you saw, it took me what, like 5 minutes, 10 minutes to get it to work properly, and it just gives you a nice result. And the cool thing is you can always change the color. So for instance, if you want to see how this looks as a blue color or like as a green color, like this is like there's different kinds of like clays. There's a very famous clay called like Chavant that tends to be this sort of like greenish bluish hue, something like this. It's plasticky effect, and I like it. Which is better for rendering, Marmoset Toolbar or Unreal Engine? Marmoset Toolbar is mainly for presentation purposes. So if you're going to be doing like actual renders, you're going to be doing it inside of Unreal Engine. But you can do like a very similar like setup on this one that I have right here in Unreal quite like easily. And it's going to give you a similar result because of Lumen and because of all of the fancy things that we have. 2 more minutes, guys. 2 more minutes for our final winner. You can still enter the giveaway here inside of our Discord channel. Remember, just go to the Discord channel, go to the events tab, and here you're gonna see the little party popper thingy. Just click on that. It will be very funny if I click on it and I win. People are never gonna like they're never gonna let me live that down. Hi, my friend Pomji. That's a really interesting thing. How did you do that effect? Merry Christmas, Tenshibudo. Yes, the family is doing great. Thank you for that. What program is that? This is called Marmoset Toolbar 5. This is the a great like software for bakes, for texturing, for rendering. It's really good. You haven't been online on Discord lately, Abe. I know you're a busy man, but is everything going? Yeah, everything's fine, man. It's just as you mentioned, it's been very busy because of the parties and everything, of the festivities. But I'll be back there very soon. And we have the winner. 47 seconds. It's some reward on Twitch. Nice. Looks nice. What did you get my daughter? She wanted it's called a microornito here in Mexico. It's a very famous like kids toy. It's like a little oven, so they prepare like cookies and small little cakes, and it's just like a little like electric oven. So she wanted that for her Christmas gift, and then another like a plushie toy that she was looking for. Click it, Abe. Do I click it? Try effect. Oh, it's a power up. Okay, nice. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. And the winner, the final winner for today is... Congratulations to Isti Fenris. Isti, I hope you're here in YouTube or in Twitch. Congratulations, Fenris. You are the winner of the 5th giveaway for today, for our last stream of the year, for our Christmas special, for our Santa-inspired sculpting workshop. You are the winner of the final course. So I'm going to be contacting you after the stream is done. I'm just going to go get a coffee real quick, and I'll get back to Discord, and I'll start messaging all the winners. And yeah, that's pretty much it, my friends. Thank you very much for being part of this amazing community. As I've said it before, and I will never be tired of saying this, is thanks to you that we're able to be here today, right now, doing this. It's because of your support, it's because of your help, it's because of your amazing community, all of your likes, your shares. It's because you are growing as artists so much. I'm really proud of all of the work that you guys have been doing for this past year. It's been an amazing 2025 for us, and we're looking forward for an amazing 2026 for every single one of us. Not only us here on the team, David, Alan, and myself, but also for all of you guys. Hopefully you're going to be learning a lot more stuff. Hopefully you're going to be achieving so many more things. And yeah, I just want to thank you guys. I love you very much, every single one of you. Thank you for your support, and I'll be seeing you back on the live stream next year. We still have, again, one special video next Wednesday, so don't miss that. Make sure to subscribe, make sure to join the Discord and be part of this amazing community. And yeah, that's pretty much it, my friends. Thank you very much. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the time with your family, with your friends, and I'll see you back very soon. Don't forget, always learning, always improving. Bye bye.